right? So how many questions you could attempt? 80 plus. How many of you attempted 80 plus? 80 plus. Very good. Right. 70 plus. 50 plus. Which means that 50 plus is what the average number of questions attempted by the students. So we already told about in the last test discussion that there is no X number of questions which you have to attempt for sure to clear this examination. It has to be decided based on the evaluation of the question paper in the examination hall, not outside the examination hall. How many of you went for more than 3 rounds of answering? Yes. So that is another strategy which you have to follow. Don't get stuck up in one single question for more time. On an average, how many minutes you have per question? 100 questions in 120 minutes. Leave the 20 minutes. On an average, you have 100 minutes. In 100 minutes, you have to attempt 100 questions. So, roughly one question, you have to take only 1 minute. 1 minute, one question means there are many types of questions like 3 statement questions, 4 statements questions, 2 statements question, 1 statement, that is direct question. Number of questions which belongs to each of the category will be a variable, because there was a time when they used to ask more number of 4 statement questions. In one question only there are 4 questions, but of late they are asking the 1 statement question or the direct answer question more, right? So we are not sure about how many questions will belong to this 4 statement type or 1 statement type. This also will have to be taken into account. So first of all, when you are taking the question paper, right, don't worry if you don't know the first question. In the back of the mind, we always have this problem that if the first question is unknown to us, little bit we fear. Second question you are not knowing, fear increases. Third, fourth question, then we are gone. And thereafter, easy questions will be asked, which will not be taken up in that easy way. We are inclined to think in a particular way, and that way will be the way which you are using for all the questions from 1 to 100. So in the first question, in the second question, in the third question, if you don't know the answer, don't worry at all. The remaining questions will be easy. That is what you have to think. When you are reading a question, you are not able to uh, make a, you are unable to figure out what this question is about. It is only Greek and Latin for you. Now, how will you handle this situation? Completely it is Greek and Latin for you. I have not heard about this in my lifetime. First time I am hearing about this. If you are facing such questions, better don't touch the question. Greek and Latin questions should never ever be touched by you, because there is a high possibility of we making it wrong. So don't touch Greek and Latin type of questions, right? So this is one. Secondly, we are able to eliminate 2 choices. D will not come, C will not come. Now I am getting confused whether A or B. You put a round in the question. Let us process it later, because what happens, even though you go to the next question, in the subconscious mind, the processor will be working towards that question. When you give some time to your mind will come out with the right answer. Little bit of time you have to give to your mind. Suddenly when you give an answer, you'll give a wrong answer. So give some time for your mind to settle down, to come out with the right answer. So when you are not able to decide between A and B, then keep it aside, go to the next question. You read these statements. You read these statements. If suppose you are finding that first statement is absolutely wrong, then use the elimination technique. What do you mean by elimination technique? First statement is absolutely wrong. Directly I'll go to the answer without reading the second, third, fourth statement. Directly I'll come to the answer. Because in the answer, I should not have the first statement. So I'll find where and all number one is given, that and all will be wrong answer. I'll be lucky that only in one choice, one will not be there, and that is my right choice. Even though I don't know the second statement, I don't know the third statement, I don't know the fourth statement, because of the elimination technique, I am able to come out with the right answer. So use the elimination technique. Before 5 minutes, you complete the paper. Don't wait for the last minute. Before 5 minutes, you complete the paper. First, you in the first round of answering, only you attempt those questions you are 100% confident. 100% I am sure. I need not refer any key. 100% the answer is right. If you are sure shot, you go for the first round of questions, which are sure shot questions. Then in the second round, you go for remaining questions. Still in the second round, you leave some questions, and that should be processed in the third round. You have to work in rounds to get the right answer, because as I have told earlier, your mind always wants little bit of extra time to give the correct answer, right? So be careful. At the same time, don't be too much conscious in the reading of the question. For example, every word you are taking out of the question and you are reading the word, don't do that. Some people have the habit. They read the question. From that question, they pick out a word, or from the statement, answer statement, they'll pick out a word and they'll give a meaning to that word independent of the question. Every question is having a context. Don't remove the word from the context. If you remove the word from the context and give a meaning which is given in the Oxford Dictionary or Cambridge Dictionary, you are bound to make the question wrong. Because the meaning of the word, particular word, comes when you read as a statement. Don't take that word out of the statement and give a dictionary meaning to the statement. Understood? Because every word has its meaning in the statement, as the answer is giving the context. The statement is giving the context of the meaning. Without the context, no word can be given any meaning. So understand this. Don't take a word and try to give meaning. Read the word along with the question or along with the answer. These are some of the instructions which you have to follow. In the course of the test, will be giving you new instructions which has to be followed. As I have told you that this is not a place where you have to fight with the other. It is not an intellectual fight which we are going to have amongst the candidates. We just wanted every single individual participating in the test batch to have an evaluation based on their own performance. You evaluate yourself based on your own performance, no comparison with others, right? Now come to the question. The first question is, so which of the following pairs are correctly matched? Sela Tunnel, where? Arunachal Pradesh. So this tunnel came in the news because of its completion. It came in the news because of its completion. And you know that this is a very vital connectivity to line of actual control. LAC is going to get connected. Especially Tawang tract is going to get connected with Tezpur. Tezpur Tawang tract connection. The time taken to move from Tezpur to Tawang tract will reduce by 1 hour through this tunnel. And Tawang tract is very crucial. Why? Because Religiously speaking, culturally speaking, people of Tibet have a close connection with the Tawang tract. It is believed that the fourth Dalai Lama belongs to this Tawang tract. So Arunachal Pradesh is always an irritation for China because of this. That people of Tibet have cultural connection with Arunachal Pradesh people. So there is a possibility of a Tibetan nationalism becoming very stronger with the help of the Tawang tract people in Arunachal. That is why China is more wanting the entire Arunachal, because it wanted to avoid, or it wanted to prevent the Tibetan nationalism with the help of the Tawang tract people who are culturally connected to Tibetan people. This Nechipu tunnel, Eastern Himalayas, Zoji tunnel, Zaskar range, Atal tunnel, Pir Panjal range. So these are the three choices which are correctly matched, and this is wrongly matched. Therefore, the answer is 3 pair. C is the right answer. There are some projects, for example, Project Vartak, VARTAK. These two tunnels are constructed based on Vartak project. And the third tunnel is based on Beacon project. This is Beacon, BEACON, Beacon project. Atal Tunnel Rohtang project, Rohtang, ROHTANG, Rohtang project. So first two tunnels, Vartak project, third one Beacon project, fourth one Rohtang project. One is wrongly matched, 2, 3, 4 are rightly matched. So 3 pairs are correctly matched. Consider the following statement about the Council of Europe. Council of Europe is different from European Council. Council of Europe was established in 1946 after the World War II, whereas European Council is a principal organ of European Union. European Council is a principal organ of European Union. Having said this, read the first statement. It is a collegiate body that defines the overall political direction and priorities of European Union. It is not at all a body of European Union. So first statement is wrong. It is an official observer of United Nations. Yes, it is an observer of UN. No country has ever joined the European Union without joining the Council of Europe. Yes, no country has joined European Union without joining the Council of Europe. So second statement is right, third statement is right, and answer is D, 2 and 3. Right? Next. Association of Asian Election Authorities. Why it came in the news? India became the chair of this association. 2022 to 24, India will be the chair of this association. So India is the chair of this association from 2022 to 2024, which is why it came in the news. How many members are there in this association? 20 members are there in the association. There are 20 members in the association. Right? So there was a meeting held in Manila, Philippines in May 2022, where India became the chair of this association. Right? So this association was established in 1998. It was established in 1998. When it was established in 1988, the Election Commission of India was one of the founding members. Election Commission of India is one of the founding members. There is another body called as Association of World Election Bodies. Association of World Election Bodies. Association of World Election Bodies. And this Association of World Election Bodies were established in 2013. It was established in 2013. In this, there are present 119 members. After having got these facts, now read the statement. It is the world's largest international organization in the field of election management. This is what the largest body in the election management, Association of World Election Bodies. This is the largest organization. So this statement is wrong. Election Commission is the founding member of this, yes or no? It is the founding members. All Asian democracies are the members of AAEA. Russia is a member. Ukraine is a member. Sri Lanka is a member. Malaysia is a member. Which means that not all democracies in South Asia are the members. There are non-democracies which are also members of this. So this is a wrong statement. And therefore answer is 2 only. Now come to the next question. Co-stock rate is seen in the news recently. See, you can buy or sell the IPO application even before it is listed in the stock market. Even before it is listed in the stock market, you can trade the IPO application, and that market is called as grey market. Grey market is not illegal market. Grey market is not illegal market. It is only unofficial market. It is unofficial, therefore this SEBI type of people will not regulate this market. It is unofficial but not unlawful. Grey market. So this is a grey market operation. The rate at which an investor buys an IPO application before listing is what is called as co-stock rate. This is what is called as co-stock rate. So even before listing, I am going to make some profit. I am buyer, I am seller. You can sell, you can buy. The intention is to make profit. Profit when? Not after listing of the IPO, even before listing of the IPO, and that market is called as grey market, and the rate at which this trade is happening is called as co-stock rate. Fifth question. Maximum residue limits came in the news. Maximum residue limit is the maximum concentration of pesticide residue which is allowed in the soil. It is allowed in the food commodity or animal fodder. It is the maximum concentration of pesticide residue which is allowed in the food of us as well as food of animal. It is food safety. So naturally, Food Safety Standard Authority of India fixes. It is not connected to soil health. It is connected to food safety, which is why it is regulated by Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. So this is wrong. Because of this, it is wrong. 1 is wrong, 2 is right. So answer is 2 only. Fixation of fair and remunerative price for sugars. FRP versus MSP. What is the difference between FRP and MSP? FRP, sugar mills will have to give to the sugarcane farmers the price, minimum price which will be given by the sugar mills to the sugarcane farmers. And MSP is the price which is guaranteed by the government to the sugar mill owners, so that they will have a recovery of at least the cost of production. MSP came in the paper last year. MSP is given to which of the following? There was a question. For how many products MSP is given? 22. 16 plus 4 plus 2. Yes or no? 16 Kharif crops, 4 Rabi crops and 2 commercial crops. For sugarcane we have FRP, fair and remunerative price. So this is the difference between FRP and MSP. From the mill, money goes to the farmers. From the government, money goes to the mill. MSP versus FRP. On what basis they are fixing this FRP? Cost of production of this sugar. Yes. Return to growers. Yes. Realization made from sale of byproduct, that is molasses, bagasse and other values. Reasonable margin for the growers on account of risk and profit, definitely. Market based. FRP is not based on market price. It is not based on the market price trend. MSP will be, not FRP. MSP may depend on the price trend in the market, whereas FRP will not depend on this market mechanism. So 5 should not come, 5 should not come, 5 should not come, 5 should not come. Answer is 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 7. From east to west. What is your answer? From east to west. What is the answer? 4. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. East to west. So this is the right answer. 8th statement. Black thrips are what? Invasive pest which affects the crops. It came in the news. They are invasive pests which are affecting the crops. It will affect one crop, then it will affect another crop. So it is polyphagous. It affects other crops also. It affects not just one crop, it affects other crops also. So it is called as polyphagous. Try. It regulates the subjects such as tariff, interconnection, DTH, OTP. This is by Ministry of Information Technology and Telecommunication. Information Technology. It is Information Technology. IT Ministry. Not telecom. It is IT Ministry. But it regulates tariff, TRI, internet connection, DTH, mobile number portability, but OTT is regulated by Ministry of Information Technology, not telecommunication. It administers the adjudicatory and dispute settlement functions within the telecom sector. Actually, an ordinance was made in 2000 which gives this adjudicating power to another body called as TDSAT. Telecom Dispute Settlement and Appellate Tribunal. Telecom Dispute Settlement and Appellate Tribunal is the adjudicating authority. It is not the TROI because of an ordinance made in 2000. So therefore, this is wrong. This is also wrong. Neither one nor two. Which of the following statements with respect to mining sector in India? Mines and Mineral Regulation Act deals with the regulation of all major minerals only will be dealt by the act. Minor minerals and atomic minerals will not be regulated by this act. So this should not come. This should not come. Sand is a minor mineral. It is regulated by state government. Notified by the central government, regulated by the state government. So regulated by the state government is a right answer. But because this minor minerals is coming before except, it should come after except. All major minerals except minor minerals and atomic minerals should be the right statement. But here it is wrongly given. Minor minerals are included. Minor minerals and atomic minerals are excluded from the ambit of this act. So first statement is wrong. Second statement is right. So answer is 2 only. What is the difference between help and NELP? In the mining sector, we have this help which replaces the NELP. What is help? Hydrocarbon Exploration Licensing Policy. New exploration licensing policy. Help is replacing NELP. Why help should be replacing NELP? NELP of 2016 is replaced by help. Hydrocarbon Exploration Licensing Policy is replacing the new exploration licensing policy. A very straightforward difference is this, that the gross revenue will be shared between the government and the private participants. Gross revenue will be shared. Here, profit will be shared. Gross revenue will be shared here, but profit will be shared here. When profit has to be shared, the government will appoint so many auditing mechanisms to ensure that there is no fraud done by the private player. So it is intrusive auditing mechanism that delays the whole process. And therefore, it is not a headache now for the government. Whatever gross revenue comes by sale of the oil or gas, it will be taken by the government based on the sharing, gross revenue sharing. Profit sharing leads intrusive auditing. Gross revenue sharing will not lead to auditing by the government. So there is no delay mechanism in the revenue sharing if it is revenue based, not profit based. And that is why NELP is replacing help in the mining sector. Constitution of India. It is the duty of the state and Indian citizens to protect the forest which does not extend to foreigners. Right to protect forest and duty to protect forest, is it there available for foreigner? It's a directive principle under 48A. It's a fundamental duty under 51AG. which applies only to citizens, not to foreigners. So the first statement is a right statement. The protection of forest is non-justiciable and cannot be legally enforced. Yes or no? Since it is DPSP, we cannot say that it cannot be legally enforced because there are different acts which were made. Forest Act is made, Environment Protection Act is made, and these are legally enforceable. As a DPSP, it is not enforceable, but the DPSP has been made into law, and the law of the parliament is therefore enforceable in the court of law. So definitely it is enforceable because law has been made based on DPSP. Law is enforceable. DPSP is only not enforceable. Law is enforceable. Laws are made under DPSP to protect forest, which are legally enforceable in the court of law. So non-justiciable, not enforced legally, wrong statement. Originally, the state governments only could make law pertaining to forest. Yes, but because of the 42nd Amendment Act, from state list we have made forest to come in the concurrent list. So therefore, 3 is the right statement, 1 is the right statement, 2 is wrong statement. Answer is 1 and 3 only. Now come to this. Which among the following are connected to disaster management? Helsinki Declaration is regulation of the clinical research. It's a regulation for the doctors, physicians doing the clinical research. And this declaration was made in 1964. This is for doctors who are doing the clinical research. Hyogo Framework 2005. Sendai Framework 2015 to 2030. Yokohama Strategy 1994. The 3 frameworks deal with the concept called as disaster management. This will not. So 3 pairs are matched, 2, 3 and 4. Presently, which of the following countries have accepted the rupee-based cards in their country? UAE, Singapore, Bhutan, Nepal. Nepal is the 4th country. UAE, Bhutan, Singapore, and Nepal is the 4th country, which is why it came in the news. Bhutan, Singapore, Nepal, Bangladesh should not come. So 2 should not come. What? Answer is what? Choice is 1, 3 and 4. Awards. Lata Mangeshkar Award. Who? Prime Minister, first recipient of the award. Whitley Gold Award. Charudat Mishra, a snow leopard expert. Who got this Whitley Gold Award, which is otherwise called as, this award is otherwise called as what? Green Oscar. And World Food Prize, Scindia, Pulitzer Prize, Danish Siddiq. This person was killed when he was covering the Taliban versus Afghan National Force clashes. He was covering the clash happening between Taliban forces and Afghan National Forces. In that process, he got killed. So, he was given the Pulitzer Prize. So, 2 is right, 3 is right, 1 and 4 swapped. Answer is what? 2 and 3. Consider the following pairs. First country to grant legal status to all its rivers. Which country? Which country gave legal status to all its rivers? Bangladesh, 2019. El Salvador, first country to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. Ecuador, first country to legalize the rights of wild animals. South Africa, first country to grant patent for an invention by artificial intelligence system. So, all the 4 are correctly matched. 2021, 2021, 2021. All the 4 pairs are correctly matched. Uttarakhand High Court was giving the legal status to Ganga and Yamuna River in 2017 because of its sacredness. 2017, Uttarakhand High Court gave the legal status to Yamuna River and Ganga River. Uttarakhand High Court gave legal status to Yamuna River and Ganga River because of its sacredness, ritual dimensions. So all the 4 pairs are matched. Seoul Declaration, Forest. Who is the one who is convening this meeting? Every 6 years, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Every 6 years. Will convene this meeting, and in this meeting, they have adopted a declaration called as Seoul Declaration connected to forest conservation and to mitigate the global warming threats. Forest mitigation and global warming threats. So that is the right answer, convened by Food and Agriculture Organization every 6 years. 17. Consider the following statement regarding residue farming. Residue farming is a cropping system in which less tillage is used to keep the crop residue on the surface of the field that may benefit the soil. Residue farming eradicates the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. It will minimize the use of chemicals, but it will not totally lead to a situation where there is no chemicals and fertilizers. Eradication is not possible. Minimization is possible. So this word is very sweeping. There is no certainty in this statement. Eradication is not there. Minimization can be there. No residue farming can do this eradication of the chemical fertilizer completely. It can only minimize it, not eradicate. So the second statement, because of this particular word, it should be wrong. Answer therefore is 1 only. National Green Tribunal is mandated to make an endeavor the disposal of applications within 6 months of filing. NGT is a statutory body which was created by an act of parliament in the year 2010. Right to environment is a fundamental right under Article 21A, Supreme Court has declared. In the pretext or the preamble of this act, which is there in the Gazette, they have given that because of the Honorable Supreme Court's judgment that right to healthy environment comes under right to life and liberty under Article 21, we are legislating this. So as a consequence of the Supreme Court judgment, which declared right to healthy environment as a part of right to life under Article 21, this NGT was adopted or enacted by the Parliament in the year 2010. And look at this recently passed Tribunal Reforms Bill transfers the powers of NGT to the High Court. See, recently Tribunal Reform Bill was made. It was passed by the Parliament, but the tribunals dealing with copyright, patent, their powers have been given to High Court. It is not at all connected to NGT. The recent Tribunal Reform Bill has no connection with NGT. What it has done is it has transferred the powers of the Patent Tribunal, Copyright Tribunal to High Court. So this is wrong. NGT can hear any matter related to National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary and Tiger Reserve. Actually speaking, NGT has no power over Forest Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Under this Wildlife Protection Act only, we created this protected area network called as National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary, Community Reserve and Conservation Reserve. The four categories were created by Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which is outside the ambit of this NGT. Another thing, Forest Act 1927 also will not come under the ambit of the NGT. So NGT cannot hear any matter connected to National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary, Tiger Reserve. If you have to raise the issue connected to National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary and Tiger Reserve, better go to the High Court. You can't go to NGT. NGT cannot take up this case at all, because these are created by the Wildlife Protection Act, which will not come under the ambit of NGT. So third statement is a wrong statement. Answer therefore is one only. Towards 1,000 strategies related to which of the following initiatives? International Solar Alliance, 1,000 billion American dollar investment we have to have. 1,000 million people should benefit. 1,000 gigawatt solar power should be generated. 1,000 million tons of carbon dioxide will have to be reduced. That is why it is called 1,000. 1,000 billion investment, 1,000 million people should benefit, 1,000 gigawatt solar power will have to be generated, and 1,000 million tons of carbon emission will have to come down. And that is what is this International Solar Alliance, right? So Paris Agreement is what? COP21, no? International Carbon Action Partnership. It's what? It's an international grouping which is founded in 2007, which involves governments as well as others. Climate Group, it was founded in 2004, NGO. Who kickstarted ISA? India and France. When? COP21 during 2015. So answer is B. Consider the following statement. Melatonin plays an influential role in the regulation of sleep cycle. That is why they are telling sleep in the complete darkness. Short pulse of light emitting diode light at night can be employed to change the mosquito's behavior that prevents malaria. Yes or no? Then Aedes is responsible for malaria. What is that? Anopheles. Anopheles. So 1 is right, 2 is right, A is the right answer. With reference to tobacco, India is the world's second largest, China is the world's first largest, both consumer as well as producer. We are the second largest producer and the consumer of tobacco in the world, and China is the first largest producer and consumer of tobacco. So we are second. So this is wrong. Andhra Pradesh, the largest producing state in India. Yes. Answer is B. With reference to bilateral trade of India at present, US has surpassed China 2019, 20 and 2020, 21. 2019-20 and 2019-21. If you look at the 2021-2022, sorry, 2022, 2021-2022. If you look at the US and China's bilateral trade with respect to India, 2020-2021, it is 100 and how much? If you look at China, in China, India, China, 2021, India's trade with China is how much? Or China's trade with India is what? Indo-China trade. 115 became $119 billion. So 119 was the India China is 115 and India US is 119 billion dollar of bilateral trade. So definitely in 2021-22, 115 Indo-China, 119 India-US. So we surpassed. And before 86 and 80, India-China earlier year was $86 billion. In the year 2021 and India-US in the year 2021 was $80 billion. Right? So definitely when you compare, our trade with US increased by $4 billion in comparison to our trade with China. Therefore, India-US trade has surpassed India-China trade. But the problem is what? For the first time, it is not for the first time that India-US trade surpassed India-China trade. Before and all, India-US trade was more than India-China trade. So, India-US trade surpassed India-China trade for the first time is wrong. Yes, surpassed for this year 2021-2022, it has surpassed only by $4 billion. But at the same time, it is not the first time that Indo-US trade has surpassed Indo-China trade. Before also, Indo-US trade surpassed India-China trade. So first time is a wrong word, which is why this first statement is wrong. Now come to the second statement. India enjoys a positive trade balance with the US, whereas negative trade balance with we have a trade surplus with US and trade deficit with China. That is a known fact. This is the second statement. Major exports to US include pearls and precious stone. This is the first item to be traded more. And second is pharma. The maximum trade between India and US is number 1, pearls and precious stone. Number 2, pharma products. Number 3, machinery, nuclear reactors and boilers. Number 3, machinery, nuclear reactors and boilers. Number 4, mineral fuels. Mineral fuels, oil. So these are the components of trade with that of US. Number 1, pearls and precious stones. Number 2, pharma. So the third statement is a right statement. Answer therefore is 2 and 3. MDA is an initiative of Quad. Simple. 24. Expansionist monetary policy means what? Increasing the money supply. Only you can do that by decreasing the interest. Interest will have to be decreased. A fixed rate at which RBI is lending to the bank is what? Repo rate. Bank is borrowing from RBI at a rate called as MSF. Bank rate is for what? Long term or short term? Long or short? Long term lending. This is what? Short term lending. Increase the SLR. If you increase the SLR, then how will you ease the money flow? SLR means some amount of money will have to be kept by the bank either in cash or in gold or in government security. So you have to reduce it actually. Yes or no? You have to reduce. So this is wrong. Then what? Decrease the MSF. Correct? Correct, Dhanappa? You have to reduce the rate at which the RBI is giving to bank. Then only money supply will increase. Yes. Increase the bank rate. You have to reduce the bank rate. 2 only. Then what is the answer? C is the right answer. It should not do. அப்ப ஆன்சர் என்னப்பா? எது பண்ணக்கூடாது? இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணலாமா? பண்ணக்கூடாது தானே? இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணலாமா? பண்ணக்கூடாது. இது பண்ணலாமா? பண்ணலாம். அப்ப ஆன்சர் என்ன? 1 and 3. கரெக்ட் தானப்பா? Open network for digital commerce. What is this? The small and medium players also will have to access the platforms of the big players like Amazon and Flipkart. That is the idea. It allows inventory model and not the marketplace model. Inventory model, marketplace model na enna? The e-commerce firm like Amazon and Flipkart, they are not selling the product directly to you. They are only hosting the website and they are helping us to get connected with that of the sellers. So Amazon, Flipkart and all will not be involved in inventories, stock management and all. They are just websites which will connect the buyer and the seller. But Alibaba is different. Inventory model, directly the e-com platform will sell to the customers like Alibaba. Now this is open network for digital commerce is what? The project allows only inventory model. No, it allows marketplace model, not inventory model. This is what is allowed by this ONDC. It is not allowing this, it is only allowing this. It is functioning based on the blockchain technology? Definitely not. So first statement is the right statement. Right? So emphasizing our commitment to this preparation. Preparation is not just about what you physically study. Preparation is about how mentally you are prepared. So thinking is everything. But thinking alone is not everything. Thinking will have to be converted into action, then only you can clear this examination. But everything starts with a simple thinking. Now, what is the secret of success of people who have achieved great in different walks of life? Once Socrates was asked this question by a young man who wanted to know what is the secret of success to Socrates. So Socrates was telling this man, tomorrow I'll be standing near the bank of the river. You come to the river, I'll tell you the secret of success. This young man came and Socrates was standing. Now this man was asking to Socrates, what is the secret of success? So what Socrates did, he took that young man into the river. He took him to the river and was pushing that person into the river, not leaving the person to come up. So he is just pushing the head of the person into the river water. The person thought that he is about to die. And when he is struggling a lot, Socrates left that person and he just came out of the water. Now Socrates was asking to this person, what was the most important thing which you wanted when you were under the water? What was that thing which you wanted very badly when you are under the water? That man told that it is air which I wanted badly. So if you wanted success as badly as air when you are pushed under water, then you will clear this examination. Which means that the will to clear this examination is very, very important to clear the examination. When there is a competition between will and skill, will win over the skill. So skill will be defeated by will. Therefore, some of you may think that I have not topped my school examination, I have not topped my college examination, but still I have a great dream to clear this IAS examination. Can you do that? I have not got any past track records. I have not tasted what success means so far. Can I clear this examination? Yes, it is you who will clear the examination, provided you have the willpower. So, all people are successful because of one single most important thing called as burning desire. So, you have to have that burning desire because success is not going to come to you overnight. Success is not a product of accident. Success is not a product of incident. Success is a product of deliberate action. So it is time for action. You have thought a lot. Thinking part is over. For these many years, for these many months, you have thought only. Now time has come for action. You have to act without any fail. Some hesitated to come to the test, to write the test. Last test itself, I told you, even if you have not studied anything, you come here because you'll be learning new things. At least 100 new questions you came to know or not. Those who didn't study anything, you came, you know 100 questions which you will not know when you are not coming here. So this is what is very important, that whatever may be the preparation of you, come to the test, write the test, know about yourself. You should understand where you stand. Then only we can make some course correction. We are available for your services. You can come to us to sit and discuss the timetable you wanted to discuss. How can I strategize? What is the time availability which I have? How and all I will be able to, you know, face, how and all I'll be able to do to clear the examination. So if you wanted to talk to us, come talk to us. With our expertise, with our experience, we'll be able to give a simple guideline which will help you to change your study pattern itself. There are some people who are good in studying, but when it comes to writing, they are very bad. So these people will have to practice. There are some people who are not good in studying, and these people will have to study. What to do? படிக்காம பாஸ் பண்ணிடலாம்னு நினைச்சா அது இல்லப்பா. உலகத்துல அது இல்ல. உலகத்துல இல்ல. படிக்காம ஏதாவது பண்ண முடியுமா? படிச்சே தான் ஆகணுமா? ஏதாவது ஷார்ட்கட் இருக்குதா? இல்லவே இல்லையே. இருந்தா ஏன் இவ்வளவு போராட்டம்? இருந்தா ஏன்பா இவ்வளவு போராட்டம்? இட் இஸ் நாட் தட் சோ ஈஸி. எல்லாருமே கஷ்டப்பட்டு தான் ஜெயிச்சிருக்கிறாங்க. யாருமே ஃப்ளூக்ல எல்லாம் ஜெயிக்கல. Because of the work only they cleared the examination, not because of luck. Even luck to work must have to work. Luck has to work. Only then luck will work. So hard work intelligence the போட்டியில யார் ஜெயிப்பா? Hard work will defeat the talent. If talent is refusing to work hard, hard work will defeat the talent. So don't worry about your past. Past should not be, you should not be a prisoner of the past. போன டெஸ்ட்ல நல்லா எழுதலைன்னா இந்த டெஸ்ட்ல நல்லா எழுதுங்க. இந்த டெஸ்ட்லயே நல்லா எழுதலைன்னா அடுத்து வரக்கூடிய டெஸ்ட் நிறைய வருதுப்பா. எதுலயாவது ஒண்ணுல நல்லா எழுதுங்க. ஒன்ஸ் நீங்க நல்லா எழுதிட்டீங்கன்னா அது மோட்டிவேட் பண்ணும் உங்களை. அது மோட்டிவேட் பண்ணணும். ஒரே ஒரு தடவை நல்லா எழுதி மட்டும் பாருங்க. அதுக்கு முன்னால ஒரே ஒரு தடவை படிச்சு பாருங்களேன். படிச்சிட்டீங்கன்னா ஈஸியா எழுதிடலாம். ஈஸியா எழுதுனா அதுக்கப்புறம் இருக்கக்கூடிய டெஸ்ட் வந்து ஈஸியா இருக்கும். இதுல எல்லாம் பிரச்சனை என்னன்னா, இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்மளே அப்படித்தானே. நிறைய பேர் வந்து ப்ரிலிம்ஸ் இன்னும் பாஸே பண்ணல. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் யூ ஆர் எட் டு டேஸ்ட் சக்சஸ். இந்த சக்சஸ் ஒரு ரிசல்ட்டை பார்க்குறோம். அந்த ரிசல்ட்டை நம்ம நம்பர் இருக்குதுங்கிற எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் நிறைய பேருக்கு இல்லை. என்ன எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்குது? ரிசல்ட் பார்க்குறோம், நம்ம நம்பர் மட்டும் இருக்காது. நம்ம நம்பருக்கு முந்தின நம்பர் இருக்கும், நம்ம நம்பருக்கு அடுத்த நம்பர் இருக்கும், நம்ம நம்பர் மட்டும் இருக்காது. திரும்ப திரும்ப தேடி பார்ப்போம், கிடைக்கவே கிடைக்காது. ஸோ இந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா எவ்ரிதிங் வில் சேஞ்ச். இட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அ மேட்டர் ஆஃப் செகண்ட். எவ்ரிதிங் வில் சேஞ்ச். ஒரு செகண்ட்ல ஜெயிச்சவங்களும் இருக்கிறாங்க, ஒரே செகண்ட்ல தோத்தவங்களும் இருக்கிறாங்க. இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் எ மேட்டர் ஆஃப் டைம். வெயிட் ஃபார் யுவர் டர்ன் டு கம். அது வரைக்கும் என்ன பண்ணணும்? படிக்கிறத தவிர வேற வேலையே இல்லை. எப்படி சாக்ரட்டிஸ் வந்து அப்படியே சுவாசம் தான் அப்படிங்கிற சொல்றாரோ அதே அளவுக்கு யுவர் லேர்னிங் வில் ஹாவ் டு பிகம் யுவர் பிரீதிங். மூச்சு விடுறது எவ்வளவு முக்கியமோ அதே மாதிரி படிக்கிறது சிவில் சர்வீசஸ்ல அது இல்லைன்னா எதுவும் இல்லை. அது இருந்துச்சுன்னா எல்லாம் இருக்குது. ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட். ஹிஸ்டரி சார் வருவாரு டு டிஸ்கஸ் தி ஹிஸ்டரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ். தேங்க்யூ.
Malay Vanakkam, good evening. So I am Shankar Narayanan. I am the faculty of history. So நீங்க டெஸ்ட் டிஸ்கஷன்ல இன்னைக்கு நாம ஹிஸ்டரி டிஸ்கஷன் பார்க்க போறோம். ஸோ எல்லாருமே உங்களுடைய இஷ்ட தெய்வத்தை வேண்டிக்கோங்க. ஓகே, பிகாஸ் in my past 7 years of teaching experience, for many of the aspirants, learning or understanding the history is it is a pipe dream அப்படின்னுவாங்க. Because in our school days, history is one of the most irritable subject, and of course it continues even today with UPSC. The thing with history is what we study, it won't come actually. What we don't study also, it won't come. Okay, what will come, only God will knows actually, and of course UPSC will knows. So I tell you that this particular test series and discussion will help you or will give you some small tips to deal with the subject history. Okay. So my dears, we will start our discussion so that every question will have a certain strategy and I will be explaining about it. So the question number 26, right from question number 26, it was a history question. In the context of social organizations, சந்தோஷமாவே ஆரம்பிப்போம், அதுக்கப்புறம் பின்னாடி நடக்கிறதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கலாம். So in the context of social organization during Sangam age, consider the following statements. The question is with respect to, it is pinpoint பண்ணிட்டாங்க, இது Sangam age பத்தி. First இந்த மாதிரி question படிச்ச உடனே Sangam age அப்படினாலே உங்களோட NCERT booksல என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க, 300 BCE to 300 common era. சில booksல 200 BCE to 300 common era இப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. Okay, or vice versa, 300 BCE to 200 common era, because this particular 500 to 600 years, what we call it as the post-Mauryan period. In North India, we used to say as post-Mauryan period, and the post-Mauryan period தான் down southல Sangam age அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. But Sangam age இன்னைக்கு எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவா எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா after the discovery of Kizhadi, so இன்னைக்கு Sangam age எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா 600 BCE ல இருந்து, okay, so கிட்டத்தட்ட 300 common era, so BCE common era, that is before common era, so total how many years, 900 years Sangam age. The question first statement நீங்க பாருங்க, the early Sangam, that is the early society of the Sangam age was based on the Varnashrama Dharma. Whether this statement is correct or not, it is wrong statement. You see 600 BCE, you go to North India, this is the later Vedic period. You should know what is the first statement demand is, in the early Vedic period, the Aryans, they came and settled in the Sapta Sindhu region, that is Indus and its tributaries. In the later Vedic period, the Aryan, they came and settled in the northern plains. Only after the post-Vedic period only, the Aryans, they came later and settled in the down south. This is the conclusion. So when you say about 600 BCE, the earlier society of Sangam age was not based on Varnashrama Dharmam. Here, only two groups were all there. Okay, yaru அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, you should know. Okay, we know that Tamil society consisted of 5 important landforms: Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neithal, Palai. So 5 different geographical areas were all present. So based on the 5 different geographical areas, 5 different occupations were all there. Some of them may be hunters and food gatherers, some of them may be involved in the extraction, fish extraction or salt making, and some of them engaged in agriculture. So this type of Varnashrama Dharma and all not there. Okay, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and all not there in the earlier Sangam period. Okay, so first statement is wrong. The revenue collector in the Sangam age was called as NRD. No, the commander in chief, Talabadi da enna solluvaanga appadina. Okay, the commander in chief was called NRD. So first statement wrong, second statement also wrong. Chastity life, எப்பயுமே யூபிஎஸ்சில அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடான ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்துருவாங்க. சாஸ்டி லைஃப்னு என்ன, சாஸ்டினா என்ன, இது ரொம்ப சிம்பிள். கண்ணகி was called as the goddess of chastity. கண்ணகிய கற்புக்கரசின்னு சொல்றாங்க. கற்பு அப்படின்ற வார்த்தை தான் இங்கிலீஷ்ல சாஸ்டிட்டி ஆர் பியூர் அப்படின்ற மீனிங். அப்ப பாருங்க, chastity life was considered as the highest virtue of a woman. கரெக்டா? எஸ் ஆர் நோ? சங்க காலத்துல ஓகே நீங்க எடுத்துக்கோங்க. யூ டேக் சிலப்பதிகாரம். சிலப்பதிகாரம், though we say it is a people's epic, who was proudly presented in Silapadikaram? Kannagi was proudly present. So she is considered to be the goddess of chastity. So chastity அப்படின்னா என்ன வாழ்க்கை? What is what? கற்பு. தமிழ்ல கற்புன்னு சொல்றாங்கல்ல. ஸோ தூய்மை, கற்பு, இதை தான் என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா chastity அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ chastity life was considered to be the highest virtue of women. So இதுதான் என்ன அப்படின்னா ஆன்சர். So B was the answer. 3 only. Okay. So what the question demands? The question is from Sangam age. You should know what is the time period of Sangam age. Presently 600 BC to 300 Common Era. Okay, the first is the early society of the Sangam age was based on Varnashrama Dharmam kadayadu. This is a fact. Okay, fact na enna? What is the meaning of fact? Fact na unmai. Okay, வா நிறைய பேர் வந்து புலம்புவாங்க, யூபிஎஸ்சியில் ரொம்ப ஃபேக்டாக கேட்குறாங்க சார். ஆமாம், உண்மையை தானே கேட்குறான். ஓகே, ஃபேக்ட்னா உண்மைன்னு அர்த்தம். So this is the fact, and second one also is the fact. Enadi. Enadi means commander in chief. Revenue collector was not called. Okay, Enadi. So this is the second important fact. And third one is you should understand the meaning. இது ரொம்ப சிம்பிள். இது தெரிஞ்சதுனால ஆன்சர் போட்டுடலாம். சாஸ்டி அப்படின்னால என்ன அப்படின்னா தூய்மை, கற்பு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அப்போ யூபிஎஸ்சியோடைய டிமாண்டே எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா it will introduce you some new words, and that new words will be a familiar word, but you need to learn that word. Okay, இதே மாதிரி தான் questions இருக்கும். So the next one is எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா the next one. Yeah. With respect to the weights and measures used in the Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization, whether it is a rural or urban? Urban civilization. Why Harappan civilization is famous? Because of its unique civil sense, because of the town planning that it exhibited. Okay, fine. So the weights were mainly made up of a stone called chert. Okay, this is true. Chert is a type of material. Okay, in the chert the weights were all measured. Chert பார்க்கிறதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் grayish color இருக்கும். Okay, the Harappan weights are majorly in the ratio of 1:8. No, it is 1:16. Okay, even modern, in British time period and all, we used ana கணக்குன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Okay, so 1 rupeeல எத்தனை அனா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 16 anas will be present. So likewise, listen, you discuss afterwards. First I will discuss. Okay, so the Harappan weights are majorly in the ratio of 1:8. This is the wrong statement. Okay, so second statement கண்டிப்பா வரவே கூடாது. Okay, second வரக்கூடாதுன்னா இது வரக்கூடாது. The smaller weights were probably used for weighing jewelry. Okay, so now come to the point. இதுல இருந்து இன்னொரு question உடைய லிங்க் இருக்கு. Tell me whether the Harappan people had a rich sense of glamour. Okay, cosmetic industries அங்க இருந்துச்சா? Which place is considered to be the Lancashire of Harappan civilization? Which means this place is famous for cosmetic industry. Chandragupta. There was a place called Chandragupta. This Chandragupta was the place famous for cosmetic industry. Cosmetic industry. Okay, Chandragupta. So what we are understanding here is the Harappan people have a very rich knowledge on what அப்படின்னா fashion and also glamourness. So you take it, jewelry அப்படின்னும் பொழுது tell me whether male wear or female, both of them. But there are certain exceptions. Okay, the female will wear certain things, the male will wear certain things. Okay, so that we will be seeing actually. Okay, fine. So the answer is, it is C. Okay, fine. The next one is the next question. Very good. Consider the following statement with reference to the Mauryan period. Okay, Mauryan period. The slaves in the Mauryan period were employed mainly for agriculture at large scale அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Slaves in Mauryan period were employed mainly for agriculture at large scale. இது வந்து நமக்கு டவுட்டா இருக்கு. ஆமாவா இல்லனா இல்லையான்றது தெரியல. Okay, according to Megasthenes, there were no slaves in India அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்காரு. According to Megasthenes, there was no slave in India. Raiding villages, especially to acquire slaves, were recorded by Arthashastra அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. So what is the answer here? எதை நீங்க first tell me, எதை eliminate பண்ணலாம்? Tell me whether you can eliminate statement number 3. இல்லையே, ஏன் சார் எலிமினேட் பண்ணக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு கேட்கலாம். நீங்க ஆக்சுவலா இந்த சமயத்துல தான் இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது நிறைய மூவிஸ்லாம் ஞாபகம் வரும் உங்களுக்கு. அப்போகலிப்டோன்னு ஒரு மூவி பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. ஓகே, பாம்பே அப்படின்னு நிறைய இங்கிலீஷ் மூவிலாம் பார்த்துருந்தீங்கன்னா, ஓகே, வெஸ்டர்ன் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா ஒரு நாட்டை போய் கொள்ளடிப்பாங்க. கொள்ளடிச்சுட்டு அந்த நாட்டு மக்களை வந்து பார்க்கும்போது அடிமைப்படுத்துவாங்க. யூ வுட் வாட்ச் த மூவிஸ் கால்ட் 10,000 BC அப்படின்னு ஒரு மூவி வந்திருக்கு. பாம்பே அப்படின்னு மூவி வந்திருக்கு. அப்போகலிப்டோ அப்படின்னு மூவி வந்திருக்கு. ஆனா அந்த மாதிரி இங்க கிடையாது. So raiding villages specifically to acquire slaves was recorded by Arthashastra. இது கிடையாது. இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வாஸ் ஆட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். இப்படி கிடையவே கிடையாது. இந்தியாவில் அப்படி நடக்கல. இந்தியாவில் இருந்தது என்ன அப்படின்னா வர்ணாசிரம தர்மம், விச் மீன்ஸ் பிராமணா, சத்ரியா, வைஷ்யா அண்ட் ஆல்சோ சூத்ரா. லாஜிக் புரியுதுங்களா? அண்ட் என்ன ஒரு பியூட்டினா, இப்போ பாருங்க, இப்போ தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் எலிமினேட் பண்ணுங்க. தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் எலிமினேட் பண்ணீங்கனாலே உங்களுக்கு என்ன வந்துருது? ஆன்சர் வந்துருது. ஸோ அதர் 2 ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ஸ் were all correct. ஸோ அக்கார்டிங் டு Megasthenes, who was Megasthenes? Who was Megasthenes? He was the Greek ambassador. Okay, he was the Greek ambassador, visited the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, so he was the Greek ambassador of Seleucus Nicator. Okay, so Seleucus Nicator was a commander-in-chief of Alexander. Once Alexander left India, he was allotted to rule the territories that Alexander acquired in India. By the time period, Alexander was no more. So when Seleucus Nicator, when he was ruling the northwestern part of India, it was the Dhanananda were there, and Dhanananda was defeated by Chandragupta Maurya, and afterwards in India, Chandragupta Maurya waging a war with, okay, Seleucus Nicator. In that war, Seleucus Nicator was no more, which means தோக்கடிக்கப்பட்டார். ஸோ தோக்கடிக்கப்பட்ட உடனே செல்யூக்கஸ் அவருடைய கேர்ளை வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது சந்திரகுப்த மௌரியாவுக்கு கல்யாணம் பண்ணி கொடுக்குறாரு. மேட்ரிமோனியல் அலையன்சஸ் நடக்குது. ஸோ the Megasthenes was a person from which court? Who's from which court? He was entering to, okay, Chandragupta Maurya's court from Seleucus Nicator court. So answer is A, 1 and 2 only. So both statements were all correct. இதை பார்த்த உடனே இல்லையே, மௌரியன் பீரியட் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதிகமாக ட்ரேடு தானே இருந்தது, அக்ரிகல்ச்சர்லாம் ஏன் இருக்கு அப்படிலாம் நீங்க சில சமயத்துல ரொம்ப அதிமேதாவி மாதிரி யோசிக்க கூடாது. அது பிரச்சனை. இந்தியா வாஸ் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் கண்ட்ரி. ஈவன் டுடே 70% of the people engage in agricultural activity. Countries major workforce engage in agriculture. அதனால அக்ரிகல்ச்சர்ன்றது கரெக்ட். ஓகே, இதுவே போஸ்ட் மௌரியன்னு கொடுத்திருந்தாலும் என்ன அர்த்தம்? அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் தான் வரும். போஸ்ட் மௌரியன் பீரியட் வாஸ் கால்டு கோல்டன் ஏஜ் ஆஃப் ட்ரேட். ஓகே, அதுக்காக நீங்க போஸ்ட் மௌரியன் பீரியடை வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது மாத்திலாம் போட்டக்கூடாது. இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கரெக்ட் தான். ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன். வித் ரெஃபரன்ஸ் டு த அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் இன் ஐவிசி, ஓகே, கன்சிடர் த ஃபாலோயிங் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். இது ரொம்ப ஒரு ஈஸியான ஒரு கொஸ்டின் தான், ஆனா இது சூப்பரா உங்களை குழப்பி விட்டுரும். த பீப்புள் ஃபாலோடு ஷிஃப்டிங் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர். எஸ் மாதிரி தானே தெரியுது? நோ. ஏன்னா அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேமன். என்கிட்ட நிறைய பேர் போகும்போது சண்டைலாம் போட்டு போவீங்கன்னு தெரியும். அதெல்லாம் எனர்ஜியா தான் வந்திருக்கு. நான் ஆக்சுவலா இல்ல தப்பு பண்றீங்க நீங்க அப்படிலாம் சொல்லுவீங்க, தெரியும் எனக்கு. ஓகே, ஸோ ஷிஃப்டிங் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் வாஸ் ஆல்சோ கால்ட் ஸ்லாஷ் அண்ட் பர்ன். Agriculture started during the period of Neolithic. By the time period, shifting agriculture was practiced. But later, during the Indus Valley civilization, there are so many strategies or so many standards were all improved in agriculture. The people now understood in what weather pattern what has to be done. So in the time period, shifting agriculture, நீங்க எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா shifting agriculture விட the people had the knowledge of what அப்படின்னா Indus Valley உடைய primary crop என்ன? வீட் அண்ட் பார்லி. கரெக்டா? யா, வீட் பார்லி. இந்த வீட் பார்லி அப்படின்றது எந்த சீசன்ல போடுவாங்க? இந்த சீசன்ல வீட் போட்டா, யா இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல போட்டா இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல எடுத்துடலாம். ஸோ நவம்பர் டு ஏப்ரல் வச்சுக்கலாமா? அப்போ இது என்ன டைம் பீரியட், என்ன சீசன் இது? காரிஃப், ராபி, வாட் இஸ் இட்? ராபி. ஓகே, அப்போ இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல ஷிஃப்டிங் அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் அண்ட் ஆல் நாட் ஃபாலோட். கல்டிவேஷனே எலாபரேட் ஃபார்மிங் வாஸ் தேர் ஆக்சுவலி. It is not, shifting agriculture was not, the trees were not cut பழைய மாதிரி. ஓகே, இந்த மலைகள்ல இருந்த மாதிரி ஓகே மரத்தெல்லாம் வெட்டி அப்படிலாம் பண்ணல. So now the cultivation was they have done the cultivation in a very larger period. இதோட பெஸ்ட் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நம்ம எப்படி சொல்லலாம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, now the people started to use wooden plowshare. ஏற்கலப்பெல்லாம் நிறைய யூஸ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க, நிறைய எக்ஸ்டென்சிவா பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. பட் அட் த சேம் டைம் ஐ வாண்ட் டு டெல் யூ, திஸ் இஸ் த டைம் பீரியட். It was not the extensive agriculture, not mechanized agriculture. Machine லாம் யூஸ், டிராக்டர்லாம் அப்ப கிடையாது. பட் When compared to shifting agriculture, the agricultural proportionality was higher. So shifting agriculture கிடையாது. இது ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட். இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ராங். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் ராங் அப்படின்னும் பொழுது உங்களுக்கு ஆன்சர் வந்துடும் 2 and 3 தான். So they used oxen for ploughing. They knew about the growing two different crops altogether. Okay, so இது ரெண்டுமே கரெக்ட். மேக்ஸிமம் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் அப்படிதான் கொடுத்துருப்போம். ஒரு ஆப்ஷனை நீங்க எலிமினேட் பண்ணீங்கனாலே, ஆனா அந்த ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த ஆப்ஷன் கொஞ்சம் ட்ரிக்கியா இருக்கும். கரெக்ட் மாதிரி தான் தெரியும், ஆனா கரெக்ட் கிடையாது. ஓகே, கொஞ்சம் யூஸ் யுவர் காமன் சென்ஸ். ஃபைன். நெக்ஸ்ட், கன்சிடர் த ஃபாலோயிங் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வித் ரெஃபரன்ஸ் டு நியோலித்திக் பீரியட். ஸோ நியோலித்திக் பீரியட் பாருங்க, டூல்ஸ் அண்ட் இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் த பாலிஷ்டு ஸ்டோன்ஸ் வேர் யூஸ்ட். நியோலித்திக்ல பாலிஷ்டு யூஸ் பண்ணாங்களா இல்லைன்னா ரஃப் ஸ்டோன் டூல்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணிருப்பாங்களா? It was polished stone tool. Very good, fine. So the Megar, where is Megar? Mehergar or Megar? It was in Baluchistan. Megar, Baluchistan, Burzahom, Jammu and Kashmir. இதெல்லாம் மந்திர மாதிரி மனசுல ஏத்திக்கணும். இதெல்லாம் டிட்டோ அப்படியே வரும். So Megar is the, so the statement was correct. So Megar is the oldest Neolithic sites in the Indian subcontinent, correct? The Kashmiri Neolithic culture is characterized by the more number of microliths. இங்க இது twist. Microliths என்ன? இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது எல்லாம் கரெக்ட் மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும். அந்த மைக்ரோ அப்படின்னும் பொழுது நீங்க அது என்னன்றதை யோசிக்க மாட்டீங்க. மைக்ரோ மீன்ஸ் ஸ்மால். ஸ்மால். லித் மீன்ஸ் டூல்ஸ், ஸ்டோன் டூல்ஸ். ஸ்மால் டூல்ஸ் அப்படின்றது வேர் இஸ் த கேரக்டரைசேஷன் அப்படின்னா மீசோலித்திக்ல வருது, நியோலித்திக்ல வரல. இந்த ஸ்மால் டூல் சைஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னா 1 சென்டிமீட்டர்ல இருந்து 8 சென்டிமீட்டர் சைஸ் வரைக்கும் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ த காஷ்மீரி நியோலித்திக் கல்ச்சர் இஸ் கேரக்டரைஸ்ட் பை த மோர் நம்பர் ஆஃப் மைக்ரோலித்ஸ்ன்றது வரக்கூடாது, மோர் நம்பர் ஆஃப் பரியல்ஸ் அப்படின்றது வந்தா கரெக்ட். பிகாஸ் த காஷ்மீரி நியோலித்திக் சைட், ஒரு இடம் சொல்லுங்க. Burzahom, very good. Burzahom was the place where the dog was buried along with the human being. அந்த நாய் ஏன் கொண்டானுன்னு தெரியல. ஓகே, the dog was buried along with the human being. ஸோ அப்படிதான் வந்து நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். ஸோ மைக்ரோலித்ஸ் அப்படின்றது மீசோலித்திக் கல்ச்சரோடைய ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள். ஸோ தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கண்டிப்பா வராது. அப்ப ஆன்சர் 1 and 2, A. ஓகே, சிம்பிளா இருக்கு பாருங்க. Consider the following statement with reference to the Megasthenes account of Mauryan Empire. இதுவும் ஒரு சூப்பரான ஒரு question. He was a Greek ambassador, correct? In the court of Chandragupta Maurya, correct. He left his observations in the book named Indica. இதுவும் correct. According to his account, the majority of the people in the Mauryan Empire were farmers அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்காரு. இது கரெக்டா? ஏன் யோசிக்கிறீங்க? கரெக்ட், ஆமா. ஓகே, சோ நான் அப்படிதான் பார்ப்பேன். நீங்க கரெக்டா சொல்லணும். உங்களை குழப்ப வேண்டியதான் என் வேலை. ஓகே, according to his account, Mauryan society was divided into 4 distinct groups. இதுதான் இங்க பிரச்சனை. நீங்க நினைப்பீங்க இந்தியாவுல வர்ணாசிரம தர்மம் இருக்கு, சோ அததான் இவர் சொல்லியிருக்காருன்னு. கிடையாது. இவர் சொல்றாரு மௌரியன்ஸ் பீரியட்ல 7 distinct groups இருக்குன்னு சொல்றாரு. கான்செப்ட் புரியுதா? ஸோ த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் 4 இஸ் ராங். ஸோ 4 தூக்குங்க, என்ன வருதுன்னு பாருங்க. ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் 1, 2 and 3. ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் A. தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் குழப்பற மாதிரி இருக்கும், பட் ஆனா அது ட்ரூ. ஃபோர்த் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இது சீரியஸா, இதுதான் வாழ்க்கை, இதுதான்ப்பா அப்படின்னு நினைப்பீங்க, ஆனா அது கிடையாது. ஓகே, ஃபைன். ஸோ த நெக்ஸ்ட், in the context of ancient India, UPSCக்கு இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் தான் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். அப்பாடா, இந்த கொஸ்டின் மூலமா எப்படியும் ஒரு 10,000 பேர் அவுட் ஆயிடுவான் அப்படின்னு நினைப்பாங்க அவங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ in the context of ancient history of India, the term Karshapana refers to what? Land revenue assigned to military officers. இதெல்லாம் இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டினை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும், அதாவது NCERT ரீடிங்கை தவிர்த்து இப்போ ரீசெண்டா வந்து ஒரு பிரெயின் ஸ்டார்மிங் பண்ணதுல what we have understood is, okay, as our R&D team understood that இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வந்து சிம்பிளி NCERT புக்ஸ் வந்து எடுக்கிறது கிடையாது. பட் ஒரு டாபிக் எடுத்துக்கிட்டாங்கன்னா, இப்போ மௌரியன் அப்படின்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டாங்கன்னா, மௌரியன் பீரியட்ல இதெல்லாம் கேட்கலாம், இந்த மாதிரி கீ டேர்ம்ஸ்லாம் கேட்கலான் இருக்கு. லைக் சாமஹர்த்தா, சன்னிதத்தா, ஓகே, அக்தேக்ஷா, இந்த மாதிரி வார்த்தைகளை வரும் பொழுது ஓ இது மௌரியன் பீரியட்ல தான் வருது அப்படின்ற ஒரு கான்செப்ட் இருக்கு. ஸோ அப்படி பார்க்கும் பொழுது என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஸோ கர்ஷபனா ரெஃபர்ஸ் டு வாட்? ஏன்ஷியன்ட் இந்தி பீரியட்ல, ஏன்ஷியன்ட் ஹிஸ்டரி ஆஃப் இந்தியா பீரியட்ல the term Karshapana refers to what அப்படின்னா the silver coins of the different monetary value. Okay, answer is C. Okay, fine. Next, with reference to the Rigvedic period, consider the following statements. ரிக்வேதிக் பீரியடை பத்தி கேட்குறாங்க. ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த ரிக்வேதிக் டைம் பீரியட்? இது ஆரியன்ஸ் பத்தி சிம்பிளா தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. The Aryans period was called Vedic age. Okay, இந்த Vedic age ரெண்டா பிரிக்கிறாங்க. Early Vedic period, later Vedic period. Early Vedic period was also called as Rigvedic period. Okay, later Vedic period was also called as Iron phase அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அப்போ early Vedic period ஓட டைம் பீரியட் என்னன்னா 1500 BCE, okay, to 900 BCE. இதுதான் early Vedic period. அப்போ இயர்லி வேதிக் பீரியட் தான் ரிக்வேதிக் பீரியட்னு கேட்குறாங்க. அப்போ இதான் கொஸ்டின். அப்போ இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல என்னன்றதான் பியூட்டி. த கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் லேண்ட் டெரிட்டரி வாஸ் ஸ்டார்டட் இன் த இயர்லி வேதிக் பீரியட். இது கரெக்டா தப்பா? கரெக்டா தப்பா? இது வந்து ராங். பிகாஸ் லேட்டர் வேதிக் பீரியட்ல தான் ஏன் சார் அப்போ லேண்ட் டெரிட்டரிலாம் இல்லையா? லிசன், இன் இயர்லி வேதிக் பீரியட் கன்சிடர் there will be so many tribal groups. Okay, இந்த tribal குரூப்புக்கெல்லாம் ஹெட் பீப்புள ஜனான்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஜனாவுடைய தலைவர் யாருன்னா ஜனாபதி, அவர் தான் ராஜா. ஓகே, ஜனாபதி தான் ராஜா. அப்போ இந்த ட்ரைபல் குரூப்புக்குள்ளார நிறைய ஃபைட்லாம் நடக்கும். கிராமங்களுக்குள்ளார, கிராமா அப்படின்னா இது நான் ஏன் கிராமான்னு சொல்றேன்னா, ஆரியன் சிவிலைசேஷன் வாஸ் நாட் அர்பன், இட் வாஸ் அ ரூரல் கிளஸ்டர்ஸ். கிராமங்களுக்குள்ளார ஃபைட் நடக்கும். அப்போ கிராமங்களுக்குள்ளார நடக்கிற ஃபைட்டை சங்கிராமா அப்படின்வாங்க. சங்கிராமான அவங்களுக்குள்ளார நடக்கிற ஃபைட்டு. அப்போ இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல ராஜாவுடைய ஒர்க் என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஓகே, தன்னுடைய கேட்டில்ஸை இன்னொரு ட்ரைபல் குரூப் ஓகே டெக்காய்ட் பண்ணாம இருக்கணும், அதை பார்த்துக்கணும். அதான் ராஜாவுடைய வேலை. அதனால ராஜாவுக்கு எலாபரேட் பியூரோக்ரஸிலாம் இப்போ கிடையாது. த ராஜா along with some of his colleagues, he will protect his cattle. இதான் இவருடைய ஒர்க். இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல எலாபரேட் பியூரோக்ரஸி கிடையாது. ஆனா இதே டைம் பீரியட்ல லேட்டர் வேதிக் பீரியட்ல போனீங்கன்னா இந்த கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் ஓகே ராஷ்டிரம் அஸ்கம், ராஷ்டிரம்னா என்ன, கவர்மெண்ட் வந்துருச்சு. பிகாஸ் நவ் த ராஜா ஃபாலோயிங் வாட் அப்படின்னா டெரிட்டோரியல் எக்ஸ்பான்ஷன் அண்ட் மேட்ரிமோனியல் அலையன்சஸ். இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல பாலிகாமி வருது. நிறைய இந்த ராஜாக்கள்லாம் மாத்தி மாத்தி சண்டை போட்டுக்கிறாங்க. அப்போ டெரிட்டரி எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் ஆன உடனே எலாபரேட் பியூரோக்ரஸி வர ஆரம்பிக்குது. ஸோ த கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் லேண்ட் டெரிட்டரி அப்படின்றது லேட்டர் வேதிக் பீரியட்ல தான் வந்தது. ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கண்டிப்பா வரக்கூடாது. ஸோ எலிமினேட் சி அண்ட் டி. ஓகே, விமன் வேர் கிவன் ஈக்குவல் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் அஸ் மென் ஃபார் தர் ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் அண்ட் இன்டெலெக்சுவல் டெவலப்மெண்ட். இது கரெக்டா? இதை நிறைய பேர் தப்புன்னு நினைப்பீங்க. அது எப்படி விமன்னாலே ஆரியன்ஸ் பீரியட்ல அழிச்சுதானே அழிச்சிருப்பாங்க? அப்படி கிடையாது. இயர்லி வேதிக் பீரியட் சம்வாட் இகாலிட்டேரியன். What is the meaning of egalitarian? ஓரளவுக்கு ஈக்குவாலிட்டி இருந்துச்சு. ஓகே, இந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல விமன் were allowed to divorce if husband is considered to be impotent. அவன் ஆண்மை அல்லாதவனாக இருந்தா அவனை டிவோர்ஸ் பண்ற அளவுக்கு வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது உரிமை கொடுத்திருந்தாங்க. பின்னாடிதான் கல்லானாலும் கணவன், அவன் ஃபுல்லானாலும் புருஷன், நீதாமா அவனை திருத்தணும் அப்படின்னா பின்னாடிதான் வந்துருச்சு. ஓகேவா? கான்செப்ட் புரியுதா? ஸோ இயர்லி வேதிக் பீரியட்ல அந்த கான்செப்ட்லாம் கிடையாது. ஸோ செகண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இஸ் கரெக்ட். Trade was conducted using gold coins. ஓகே, இது எப்படி சார் சொல்றீங்க? கோல்டு காயின்ஸ் எப்படி? நிஷ்கா அப்படின்னு ஒரு வார்த்தை இருக்கு. நிஷ்கா மீன்ஸ் கோல்டு காயின்ஸ். ஸோ ட்ரேட் அப்படின்றது நடந்திருக்கு. ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் ஏ 2 and 3. புரியுதா? இப்பதானே ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கு, இனிமேட்டு எல்லாம் தப்பா தான் இருக்கும். தப்பாயிடுச்சான் இரியா, இப்பதான் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கோம். ஓகே ஃபைன். நெக்ஸ்ட், வித் ரெஃபரன்ஸ் டு த இண்டஸ் வேலி சிவிலைசேஷன். மக்களை கொஞ்சம் என்ன பேச விடுங்க. With reference to Indus Valley civilization, consider the following statement. The people of the Indus Valley were conscious of fashion. Yes. People decorated themselves with the jewelry of the precious metals and gemstones. இதுவும் கரெக்ட் தான். The girdles and anklets were commonly ஒரு வார்த்தையை கொடுத்துட்டான். பொதுவாக commonly அப்படின்னு நீங்க கொடுத்துருக்கான் பாருங்க. The girdles and anklets were commonly worn by both male and female. இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டும் கரெக்ட் தான். பொதுவாக ஸ்கூல் பொதுவாக ஓகேவா, ஆண்கள் பெண்கள் என்ன பண்ணிருந்தாங்க அப்படின்னா இந்த இதெல்லாம் போட்டிருந்தாங்க. இதுல பர்டிகுலர்லி பெண்கள் மட்டும் என்ன போட்டிருந்தாங்க அப்படின்னா ஆங்க்லெட்ஸ் போட்டிருந்தாங்க. கான்செப்ட் புரியுதா? அந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் நீங்க அப்படியே பாத்தீங்கன்னா புக்ல அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். பொதுவாவே ரெண்டு பேருமே ஜுவல்ஸ் போட்டிருந்தாங்க. பொதுவாவே இந்த girdles and anklets, ஆங்க்லெட்னா என்ன, கொலுசு. ஓகேவா சார்? ஆண்கள் கூடமா கொலுசு போட்டிருந்தாங்க, ரொம்ப கேவலமா இருக்குமே அப்படின்னு நீங்க நினைக்கலாம். பொதுவா போட்டிருந்தாங்க. பட் பர்டிகுலர்லி ஒரு பெண் அப்படின்னா ஆங்க்லெட் போட்டிருக்கணும், ஒரு ஆண் அப்படின்னா கையில ஆம்லெட் போட்டிருக்கும். அட் த சேம் டைம் பெண்களும் கையில இங்க போட்டிருக்கலாம். ஓகே, ஆம்லெட் போட்டிருக்கலாம். ஸோ இதுதான் மீனிங். காமன்லின்னு ஒரு வார்த்தையை வச்சிருக்கான், பொதுவாக அப்படின்னும் பொழுது இந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டும் கரெக்ட். ஆன்சர் இஸ் டி. ஓகே, நிறைய பேர் கோவப்படுறீங்க, குலா ரிலாக்ஸ். ஓகே, ஹிஸ்டரி கொஸ்டின் தான் அப்படிதான் கொஞ்சம் இருக்கும். ஓகேவா, ஃபைன். ஸோ கன்சிடர் த ஃபாலோயிங் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் அபவுட் ஹர்ஷவர்தன். வெரி குட், சூப்பரான ஒரு கொஸ்டின். He was initially a devotee of Shiva, but later became the patron of Buddhism. இது கரெக்டாப்பா? இது கரெக்ட். ஓகே, ஹர்ஷவர்தனா. ஓகே, he was called ஹர்ஷவர்தனாவை என்னன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க? he was the ஆக்சுவலா வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது இவர் லார்ட் ஆஃப் நார்த் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அப்போ மோடிஜி இல்லையா சார்னு கோவப்படக்கூடாது. ஆக்சுவலா லார்ட் ஆஃப் நார்த். ஏன் இவர் அப்படி சொல்றாங்கன்னா, சகல உத்தர, எப்பவுமே உத்தர் அப்படின்னா நார்த்தை குறிக்கும். ஓகே, சோ சகல உத்தர பாதநாதா அப்படின்னு பேர் வருது. ஓகே, சகல உத்தர பாதநாதா. ஓகே, உத்தர பாதநாதனா லார்ட் ஆஃப் நார்த். திஸ் லார்ட் ஆஃப் நார்த் வாஸ் டிஃபீட்டட் பை லார்ட் ஆஃப் சவுத். ஆமா, ஸ்டாலின் கிடையாது. ஃபைன். சோ லார்ட் ஆஃப் நார்த் டிஃபீட்டட் பை லார்ட் ஆஃப் சவுத். அப்ப யார் அப்போ? புலிகேசி 2. இதான் ஈஸியா அவரை பத்தி ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கிறது. ஸோ லார்ட் ஆஃப் நார்த் டிஃபீட்டட் பை லார்ட் ஆஃப் சவுத், புலிகேசி 2. சரி. ஸோ ஹி வாஸ் அ சிவா, தட் இஸ் he was basically a devotee of Shiva, but later became a patron of Buddhism. He convened an assembly at Kannauj. Kannauj எங்க இருக்கு? உத்தர பிரதேஷ்ல இருக்கு. ஓகே, to publicize the doctrines of Hinayana. இதுதான் ட்விஸ்ட். மகாயானா. ஓகே, யாருன்னா சொல்லுங்க, ஹீனயானாக்கும் மகாயானாக்கும் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஏதாவது ஒரு பேசிக் டிஃபரன்ஸ் சொல்லுங்க. வெயிட் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. யூ வெரி குட். ஸோ ஹீனயானால புத்தாவை காடால மதிக்கல. ஹீனயானா சேஸ் புத்தா வாஸ் அ ரெவரண்ட் டீச்சர். புத்தா வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 45 வருஷம் ஒரு டீச்சிங்ல தான் இருந்தார். அதனால புத்தாவை டீச்சராகவே, புத்தாவுடைய டீச்சிங்ஸை மட்டுமே பிலீவ் பண்ணணும், அது மூலயமா ஓகே நிர்வாணா அடையலாம்னு சொன்னது ஹீனயானா. மகாயானா சேஸ் நோ, புத்தா இஸ் அ காட். புத்தா வாஸ் இன் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஃபார்ம்ஸ். ஓகே, இவங்க தான் போதிசத்துவா வர்ஷிப் பண்ணுவாங்க. போதிசத்துவாஸ்னா புத்தாவை பல உருவங்களா வர்ஷிப் பண்ணுவாங்க. அப்போ இந்த செகண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல ஹர்ஷவர்தன் he followed புத்திசம்னா நாட் ஹீனயானா பட் மகாயானான்னு தெரியும். ஹீனயானா ஃபாலோ பண்ண முக்கியமான ரூலர்ஸ் அந்த டைம் பீரியட்ல யாருன்னா அஜாத சத்ரு, அஜாத சத்ருக்கு அப்புறமா காலசோகா, காலசோகாக்கு அப்புறமா அசோகா. இவங்க 3 பேரும் தான் ப்ரிடாமினண்டா ஹீனயானா ஃபாலோ பண்ண ரூலர்ஸ். அசோகாக்கு அப்புறமா வந்த கனிஷ்காவோ ஆர் ஹர்ஷவர்தனனோ என்ன புத்திசம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணல, மகாயானா தான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணாங்க, ஹீனயானா ஃபாலோ பண்ணல. ஸோ செகண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வாஸ் ராங். அப்போ செகண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கண்டிப்பா ராங் அப்படின்னும் பொழுது கோ ஃபார் எலிமினேஷன் மெத்தட். ஓகே, கம் டு த தேர்ட் பாயிண்ட். பானபட்டா ரோட் ஹர்ஷ சரித்ரா. எஸ் ஆர் நோ? எஸ். தட் கிவ்ஸ் அன் அக்கௌண்ட் ஆஃப் த இயர்லி இயர்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஹர்ஷா. ஓகேவா? ஸோ இது கரெக்ட். ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் சி 1 and 3. Coming to the chronological part. இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும் பொழுது கொஸ்டின் பேப்பரை கிழிச்சு போன மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும், அவ்வளோ எமோஷனல் ஆகக்கூடாது. ஓகே, இதை பாருங்க. நந்தா, ஹரியங்கா, மௌரியா, சிசுநாகா, சாதவாகனா, சுங்கா. இதை பாருங்க, 2 அதாவது ஏன்ஷியன்ட் இந்தியாவுடைய எம்பையர்ஸை கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அதை உங்களை வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது கேட்டகரைஸ் பண்ண சொல்றாங்க. இப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் யார் வரா நீங்களே சொல்லுங்க. மகதா டைனஸ்டியில எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வரவங்க ஹரியங்கா, ஹரியங்காக்கு அப்புறமா சிசுநாகா, சாரி ஹரியங்காக்கு அப்புறமா சிசுநாக், தேர்டு நந்தா. நந்தா டைனஸ்டிக்கு அப்புறமா தான் மௌரியன்ஸ் வராங்க. மௌரியன்ஸுக்கு அப்புறமா தான் போஸ்ட் மௌரியன்ஸ் வராங்க. இந்த போஸ்ட் மௌரியன்ஸ்ல முதல்ல வரவங்க யாருன்னா சுங்கா, கன்வா, சேடி, சாதவாகனா லாஸ்ட்ல தான் வராங்க. இப்போ பாருங்க, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஹரியங்கா, செகண்ட் சிசுநாகா, தேர்டு நந்தா, ஃபோர்த்து மௌரியன், ஃபிஃப்த்து சுங்கா, சிக்ஸ்த்து சாதவாகனா. அப்போ சாதவாகனா லாஸ்ட்ல தான் வரணும், விச் மீன்ஸ் 5 லாஸ்ட்ல தான் வரணும். அப்போ 5 லாஸ்ட்ல வரணும்னா கோ ஃபார் ஏ அண்ட் டி. அப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன வரணும், என்ன வரலாம்? ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் ஹரியங்கா, ஸோ 2. அப்போ ரெண்டுமே 2 வந்திருக்கு. செகண்ட் என்ன? செகண்ட் வந்து சிசுநாகா, சிசுநாகானும் பொழுது 4. அப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஆன்சர் இஸ் டி. இந்த குரோனாலஜிலாம் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதாவது ஒவ்வொரு டைம் பீரியட்ல எந்தெந்த டைனஸ்டிஸ் இருந்தாங்கன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டாலே இந்த மாதிரி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஆன்சர் பண்ணிடலாம். ஓகே, ஸோ ஃபைன். எஸ், with reference to the polity of Kushana's empire. Listen. Okay, with reference to the polity of Kushana's empire. இந்த குஷானாஸ் எம்பையர்ல தான் கனிஷ்கா இருந்தார். Okay, Kanishka was called second Ashoka. Okay, the most famous ruler is Kanishka. Consider the following statements. The provinces were ruled by a military governor known as Mahashatrapa. This is correct. Shatrapa abdina correct. The local administration was well developed during Kushana's time period. The rulers of the empire claimed themselves to be the Devaputra. Devaputra na son of God. எப்பயுமே சைனாக்காரங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, இவங்கெல்லாம் சென்ட்ரல் ஏஷியால இருந்து வந்தாங்க, மங்கோலியா ரீஜன்ல இருந்து வந்தாங்க. ஸோ மங்கோலியா ரீஜன்ல என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா, ஒரு ரூலரை கடவுளுடைய குழந்தைகள் அப்படின்னு சொல்வது, அதுதான் தேவபுத்திரான்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ ஆன்சர் என்ன இதுக்கு? ஆன்சர் இஸ் டி. எல்லாமே கரெக்ட் தான். The local administration was well developed during the Kushana's time period. Okay, local administration district level, gram level என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா, it was a well developed Kushana's. Okay, they showed a very level of development or level of administration, okay, by this time period. So answer is D. And the next one is 38. With reference to the coinage history in the post-Mauryan period, in the coinage nu varumbodhu da enna confusing ah irukum. Listen, Kushana rulers were the first foreign rulers to introduce coins with the portrait of the kings and queens in India. Idu correct ah irukuma? Correct மாதிரி தானே தெரியுது. குஷானாஸ் கிடையாது, இந்தோ கிரீக்ஸ். நீங்க நிறைய இப்பதான் என்கிட்ட நீங்க கேட்கலாம், எப்படி சார் நாங்க மௌரியன்ஸ் பீரியட்லயே நிறைய பஞ்ச் மார்க் காயின்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு படிச்சிருக்கோமே. மௌரியன்ஸ் பீரியட் மட்டும் இல்ல, அதுக்கு முன்னாடி பஞ்ச் மார்க் காயின்ஸ் அப்படின்றது இருக்கு, யூஸ் பண்ணப்பட்டிருக்கு. பட் ஏன் இந்த இந்தோ கிரீக்ஸ் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அப்படின்னா, இந்தியாவை ரூல் பண்ண ரூலிங் டைனஸ்டிஸ்ல, ஓகேவா, இந்தியாவை ரூல் பண்ண ரூலிங் டைனஸ்டிஸ்ல ஒரு டைனஸ்டி, ஓகே, கோல்டு காயின் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இஷ்யூ பண்ணது யாருன்னா இந்தோ கிரீக்ஸ் தான். கோல்டு காயின், காப்பர் அண்ட் இந்த மாதிரி கோல்டு காயின் அண்ட் காப்பரை வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது, இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணும்பொழுது அவங்களுடைய இமேஜ், ராஜா ராணிங்களுடைய இமேஜஸ்லாம் வந்து பார்க்கும்போது இதுல இருந்துச்சு. ஒரு டைனஸ்டியா இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா போஸ்ட் மோரியன்ஸ் தான், விச் மீன்ஸ் இந்தோ கிரீக்ஸ் தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். ஸோ இப்படி பார்த்தீங்கன்னாலே குஷானாஸ் அப்படின்றது இங்க வராது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபாரின் ரூலர் டு இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் காயின்ஸ் அப்படின்னு வராது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபாரின் ரூலர்ஸ் கிடையாது. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்தவங்க யாருன்னா இந்தோ கிரீக்ஸ். இந்தோ கிரீக்ஸ், ஷாகாஸுக்கு அப்புறமா பார்த்தியன்ஸுக்கு அப்புறமா தான் குஷானாஸ். போஸ்ட் மோரியன் பீரியடோடைய லாஸ்ட் ஸ்டேஜ்ல தான் குஷானாஸ் வராங்க. இதுதான் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டே ராங் அப்படின்னா இங்க கரெக்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. பாருங்க, எலிமினேஷன் பண்ணுங்க, ஆன்சர் வந்துடுச்சு. ஓகேவா, மற்றது எல்லாமே கரெக்ட் தான். So the Guptas issued large number of gold coins called dinara. Okay, dinara அப்படின்னா கோல்டு காயின். உங்களுக்கு ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ஃபேக்ட் ஒன்று சொல்றேன், லிசன். இப்போ அலாவுதீன் கல்ஜியோட கமாண்டர் இன் சீஃப் பேர் என்ன? மாலிக் கஃபூர். ஓகே, மாலிக் கஃபூர். இந்த மாலிக் கஃபூரோடைய சொல்ல போனா ஹி வாஸ் a ஹிந்து டிரான்ஸ்ஜெண்டர். அவர் ஒரு ஹிந்து தான். குஜராத் அட்டாக் பண்ணும் பொழுது மாலிக் கஃபூரை வந்து அலாவுதீன் கல்ஜி வந்து ஓகே ரெக்ரூட் பண்றாரு. அப்போ ரெக்ரூட் பண்ணும் பொழுது மாலிக் கஃபூருக்கு ஓகே 1000 பொற்காசுகளை கொடுத்து அடிமையா, அதாவது சேலரி கொடுக்குறாரு. ஓகே, அதனால மாலிக் கஃபூரை ரொம்ப நாளா என்ன சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்கன்னா ஹாசன் தினாரா அப்படின்ற வார்த்தையில தான் சொன்னாங்க. ஹாசன் தினாரா, ஹாசன்னா 1000, தினாரானா கோல்டு காயின். ஸோ 1000 பொற்காசுகள் கொடுத்து வாங்கப்பட்ட அடிமைன்னு அர்த்தம். ஹாசன் தினாரா இது during the time period of Alauddin Khalji, Malik Kafur was recruited from Gujarat. Malik Kafur has got a name called Hasan Dinara. Hasan means 1000, Dinara means gold coin. So the conclusion is, whenever Dinara is mentioned, it includes what? Gold coins. So what is another name of Malik Kafur? They used to ask like this also. What is another name of Malik Kafur? Hasan Dinara. Hasan means what? Yeah. Okay. So fine. Good. So the answer is B, 2, 3 and also 4. Fine. We will go to the next question. So question number 39. Consider the following pairs. Gahapati. which also come like Grahapati. Graha appadina enna? House. Okay, the head of the agricultural household owning sizable wealth. Okay, so Grahapati or Gahapati. Bojaka. Bojaka means what? Head of the village. Don't write Gramika. By the time period of that is Gramika was also be written as head of the village, but Bojaka mentions as head of the village. Vesas means what? Abdina merchants. So these are all the terms that was used in the later Vedic period. Okay, so answer is D 1, 2, and 3. So Vesas is a new term for merchants. Bojaka is the term for head of the village, and Gahapati was the term used for the head of the agricultural landhold. So these are all the Vedic term. Next one, question number 40. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the northern black polished ware? It clearly depicts the social stratification. Okay, this question, somewhat it will be tricky, and you cannot able to decipher your answer in a easiest way. பார்க்கும்பொழுது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். What is social stratifications? There will be some hierarchy. Okay, the hierarchy may be Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or the hierarchy may be economically this person was so good, and economically another group of peoples may not be good. So social stratification, okay, in the northern black polished ware, it's a kind of a tool, that is a pottery. Okay, today you take it, you go to many, you would have went to many of your many of the star hotels. Okay, you would have seen, and at the same time you would have had your dinner or breakfast in Hot Chips or nearby Karthik Tiffin Center. Okay, you take the level of the vessels. சில ஹோட்டல்ஸ் போனீங்கன்னா என்ன கொடுப்பாங்க? ஓகே, எதுவுமே கொடுக்க மாட்டான். ஓகே, அது வேற விஷயம். சில ஹோட்டல்ஸ் நாம தான் வாட்டர் பாட்டில் கூட நாம தான் எடுத்துட்டு வரணும். In some hotels they will be issuing vessels which of high quality, copper vessels. Okay, so likewise in those days the economically stronger section or the richest people, they will use the higher level of pottery. That higher level of pottery we call it as northern black polished ware. It's a kind of a pottery. That usage of pottery, I'm asking whether the usage of the pottery by the rich people, whether it shows the social stratification, yes or no. Yes, how, you can ask me. During the northern black polished ware, this time period is exactly during the time period of pre-Mauryan time period, which means post Vedic period. உங்களுக்கு சொல்லணும் எக்ஸாக்ட்டா பாத்தீங்கன்னா எப்போ அப்படின்னா 600 BCE ல இருந்து 400 BCE. By this time period, the style of tools or the level of pottery was called northern black polished ware. Okay, I am asking whether in those days burials were all used. Burials, whether they used to dump the tools what they use. Burials பண்ணும்பொழுது அவங்க என்ன டூல்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணாங்களோ போட்டு புதைப்பாங்களா? அப்படி புதைக்கும் பொழுது அவங்க எப்படி வாழ்ந்தாங்கன்னு நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாமா? அதான் கான்செப்ட். So the first statement clearly says that this northern black polished ware clearly depicts the social stratification. Its existence coincided between the period of Mahada and Mauryan time period. So Mahada to Mauryan time period, northern black polished ware. So answer is what? C, both 1 and 2. You should know what is this northern black polished ware. Okay, fine. The level, I will give you some tips. Listen, it was in the Neolithic period. Okay, pottery came. What is the pottery style? It was called plain pottery. In Chalcolithic period, after Neolithic, Chalcolithic period came. Chalcolithic period, it was painted pottery. Painted pottery. And after, during the time period of Indus Valley civilization, the Indus Valley people, they used plain plus painted plus polychrome pottery. What is polychrome? Multicolor pottery. You remember like triple P, plain. Indus Valley people, they used plain, painted, polychrome. And after Indus Valley civilization, the next one is what? If you take it, it is what we call it as painted grey ware phase. Painted grey ware. Painted grey ware. Painted grey ware phase coincide with later Vedic period. Later Vedic period, we call it as painted grey ware phase. And after later Vedic period only, what is coming in the north? And the next level of pottery, it is what we call it as northern black polished ware. So this is the level of development existed in India even during the period of ancient time period. Okay, so this is the understanding. So answer is C. 40th question, answer is C. Okay. Then consider the following statement with respect to the consequences of Iranian invasion. Okay, whether Iranians, it is also called as, the Iranians were also called as Persians. Persia was also called as Iranians. Mesopotamia was also called as Sumerian. Sumerian was also called as Iranian. Iranian was also called as Persian. Ellame same da. Okay. It was in the 600 BCE, 600 BCE to 400 BCE. Okay. Our India was attacked by, or our Indian province, Punjab, was under the control of Persian Empire. Punjabum Persian Empire control irundhuchu. The Persians recruited many Indians and they used Indians in warfare with the Greeks. Okay, here they used to recruit Indians, and this Indians will be applied where? In the warfare with Greeks. So this is their understanding. So when the Persian captured some part of India, what is the consequences or impact? So that is the question. Kharosthi script was introduced to India. Yes or no? Because Kharosthi script was called as Indo-Iranian script. Okay, tell me a ruler who used Kharosthi script in his inscription. Very good, Ashoka. So this is the evidence. Ashoka used Kharosthi script in northwest, Greek and Aramaic in west. Okay, Prakrit language and Brahmi script in central India and east India. So the very evidence is Ashoka has used the Kharosthi script. So this is the understanding. First statement is correct. Elements of Mauryan architecture were greatly influenced by Iran. Whether are you okay with this second point? Would someone, why not? Elements of Mauryan architecture, okay, greatly influenced by Iran. Greatly into the doubt or go. Wait a second. No, answer is C only. Why? They have given a example. If you take Mauryan architecture, if you take what is the first thing that you decipher? Stupa. Yes or no? And stambas, pillars. Okay, lotus abacus. Okay, you take a Sarnath iron pillar. Okay, Sarnath pillar. So the stupa you take, this is the closed structure. Remember, Ashoka introduced stupas in India. The stupas are nothing but a burial site. Okay, you need to understand that. இறந்தவங்களை புதைக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு சமாதி தான் ஸ்தூபா. Understand, Ashoka introduced stupa in India, but before Ashoka, stupa was present in Iran. It was in Iran, okay, the concept of stupas was elaborate and they used in a larger proportion. So Ashoka copied stupa. So this stupa, you need to understand, it was present largely in the Mauryan time period. Second point, Ashoka used many pillars. The so-called famous Allahabad pillar inscription, it was erected during the time period of Ashoka. But understand, later in the Allahabad pillar inscription, Samudragupta's marvelous things will be depicted there. But the first time erected by Ashoka. So this concept of pillar was copied from Iran. And next one is abacus. Okay, இந்த மாதிரி தாமரைப்பூ போட்ட மாதிரி இருக்கும். Okay, there will be a pillar where he will have an inverted lotus abacus. This also copied from Iran. So many things. So the word greatly, which means many elements were all copied from the Iranian time period in architecture. So that is correct. So that is the conclusion. Okay, greatly influenced by Iran is correct. Persian influence is there. Not only pillar, you take a pillar mattu solla avanga. They take also stupa. Stupa is not indigenous concept. Ashoka, yeah, pillar, there may be some variation. In pillar, they would have used some Iranian concepts. But if you take stupa is not an indigenous invention or discovery. Okay, it was copied from Iran. So Ashoka, there was a statement says that Ashoka has erected more than 50,000 stupas. So Ashoka period knowledge stupas da. Okay, so other Pakumbolu, it was greatly influenced. Okay, good. So this question answer is C. And 42nd, which of the following factors can be attributed to the spread of Jainism in South India? Superb. Both Pallavas and Pandyas supported the Jain religion during the early 7th century Common Era. Why wrong? Why wrong? Both Pallavas and Pandyas supported the Jain religion during early century, that is 7th century. There was a great ruler called Mahendravarma Pallava. He was early a Jain follower. Ama. There was a Pandyan called Kun Pandyan. This Kun Pandyan was converted to Shaivism by Tirunelveli Sambandar. Early he was the one who followed Jainism. Appo correct dane. Okay, so this statement, okay, correct. Chandragupta Maurya spent his last years as a Jain ascetic in Karnataka. There was a place called Shravana Belagola. Okay, this Chandragupta Maurya, during his time period, there was a 12 years of great famine struck Mahada. So he came to South India. Who came to South India? The Chandragupta Maurya came to South India and he was settled in, okay, Shravana Belagola. It was a place in Karnataka where he performed Salekna. Salekna is nothing but, in Tamil we call it as, Vadakirundu Uyir Duratal, which means fast unto death. Okay, so with Chandragupta Maurya, many Jain followers came to South India. That is the first point. Okay, so this is correct. Migration of Jains to the south under the leadership of Bhadrabahu. So this is also correct. So 1, 2, 3, everything is correct. So D. 43rd, which of the following describes the meaning of the term Dharma Pravartaka? Listen, in ancient India, many dharmas will come. Upanishads la dharma will come. Listen, please. In ancient India, the word dharma occurs in many places. Okay, listen, if you take ashramas of life, they will say, dharma is the most important factor a person has to be followed. Okay, every varna has to perform certain dharma. So in Upanishads, dharma is there. Ashoka also says Dhamma policy. Ashoka's mother name is Dhamma. Her own biological mother name is Dhamma. Ashoka's mother name is Dhamma. And many Dhamma, the word Dhamma was associated in many areas in ancient India. Dharma, okay, Dharma Yatras. Okay, so Dharma Yatras. So here, a word called Dharma Pravartaka. What is the word? What is the answer for this? Yeah, you see the Chief Justice of the capital city of Pataliputra. Okay, so the event of the first sermon, very good. You see, many would have went to see, correct? Because first sermon in Buddhism topic overall படிச்சிருக்கவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? ஆமா இல்ல போடு அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு தர்ம சக்கர பிரவர்த்தனா அப்படினு போட்டுருப்பீங்க. But here what mentioned? Dharma Pravartaka, that is Dharma Chakra Pravartana. Okay, Buddha's first sermon was called Dharma Chakra Pravartana. So இது கிடையாது. Okay, sure. Title given to Bodhisattvas. Okay, fine. அதுவும் கிடையாது. So answer is title to the monarch as the upholder and promulgator of social order. ஒரு அரசனின் கடமை, okay, சமூகத்துல நல்லிணக்கத்தை ஏற்படுத்த வேண்டியது. So that is what we call it as. That ruler was called Dharma Pravartaka. Okay, so a ruler was called Dharma Pravartaka, which means he should uphold and promulgator of social order. Okay, சமூக நல்லிணக்கத்தை அவர் maintain பண்ணணும். 44. With reference to the central administration of the Mauryan Empire, this question itself says that Mauryan administration is centralized. Mauryan, Gupta. Mauryan is centralized. Gupta is feudal, decentralized. Mauryan follow elaborate bureaucracy. Gupta's feudal bureaucracy. Okay, the Mauryans elaborate bureaucracy. There are almost 27 main departments were all there, but Gupta time period such departments were all not there. So considering this, whenever I say Adhyaksha, whenever you read Adhyaksha, the word particularly denotes an officer responsible for a particular thing. So this word Adhyaksha comes in mainly Mauryans. Mauryans period la Adhyaksha, the word will come. Gupta period la Adhyaksha la varad. In those days, Sita Diksha, the word Sita means land. Sita Diksha, the one who collect revenue from the land. So likewise, you see, Adhyaksha regulated various crafts and economic activity. Yes. Revenue was collected in cash and kind, which means what? What is the meaning of cash and kind? Yes, just not today rupa. Okay, inniki rupa lang kadiyadu. Cash means that time certain coins had a monetary value. So cash and kinds, which means they can give us at a produce also. If a farmer is producing, 10,000 gunny bags of wheat, as a revenue, he can give 1,000 gunny bags of wheat to the government. So cash and kinds. Dharma Shastras were the only source of law in the Mauryan judicial system. No. Okay, so only you see the statement. Okay, in Mauryan time period, there are local penal codes were all present. Not only Dharma Shastras. Okay, Dharma, in common sense, Dharma Shastra refers to the majority Hindu peoples, the Brahmanical order. But by the time period, Mauryans, their state religion was Buddhism for some time period. Their state religion was Jainism. When Chandragupta Maurya rules, their state religion was Jainism. When Ashoka rules, their state religion was Buddhism. So Dharma Shastras, it denotes only for the Hindu Varna order actually. Okay, so this is only source of law in the Mauryan judicial system. Actually. Okay, so only is a hot statement here. So this third statement won't come. So eliminate. Okay, what will be the answer? 1 and 2. So answer is CA. With reference to the legal system of the Mahajanapatas, how many Mahajanapatas? 16 Mahajanapatas of ancient Indian history. Consider the following statements. Severity of the laws and punishments varied according to the Varna. This is true. If a Brahmin does a mistake, okay, he will be punished according to the Dharma Shastra, but for the Brahmin, there was no much severity of the punishments were all given. Okay, so severe punishments like cutting tongues and beheading were in usage. Okay, this is true. Okay, this kind of severe punishment continued even during the time period of British. Okay, even during the time period of Warren Hastings. Okay, so the British got confused by this kind of treatment. Okay, fine. Legal system of Mahajanapatas had given space for old tribal customs or laws. Whether this is correct? What the third statement says, Mahajanas means 16 powerful or 16 nation states. Okay, the question is with respect to the legal system of Mahajanapatas. The first two statement is correct. Okay, severity of laws and punishment is there. Severe punishment like cutting of tongues were all there. The third statement they are asking, sir, whether before Mahajanapatas, the people, okay, lived like tribal clusters. By the time period, they would have used certain customs. Whether that customs were all followed or not, they are asking. Whether it will be followed or not. No, எப்படிங்க follow பண்ணுவாங்க. The tribal group now emerged as a rashtra. Follow பண்ணாங்க. You take sati. In ancient India, sati is there or not? Medieval India, sati is there or not? In the modern India, with the advent of some Western knowledge, sati was prohibited. Likewise, many customs were all continued actually. That is the understanding. புரியுதாங்க? Please understand, while அடுத்த டெஸ்ட்ல இருந்து இதை அப்ளை பண்ணுங்க. ஹிஸ்டரி கொஸ்டின்ஸை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் you may have your own perception. Please don't apply your perception on question because உங்களுடைய பெர்செப்ஷன் ஆன்சரா இருக்குது. ஒரிஜினலா ஃபேக்ட்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு. அந்த ஃபேக்டை நீங்க லேர்ன் பண்ண போறீங்க. அண்ட் ப்ளீஸ் டோன்ட் டிமோட்டிவேட் யுவர் செல்ஃப். இதான் ட்ரெய்லர் ஆக்சுவலா. இன்னும் போக போக எவ்வளோ இருக்கு. ஓகேவா? ஸோ this is how UPSC is asking questions in modern time period. Okay, so அதனால நீங்க worry பண்ண தேவையில்ல. So what is the answer here? 1, 2 and 3. With reference to the economy of post-Mauryan India, consider the following statement. This statement you see, this is easy, right? Agriculture was the primary occupation in the economy. Yes. Sadavahanas had trade link with the Roman Empire. Yes, because Sadavahanas symbol, their symbol, okay, that is their symbol was called, a ship. Ship with double mast. Odamnu solluvaanga actually. Ship with double mast. That was their symbol. They had trade links with the Romans. Because Sadavahana time period also coincides with Sangam age. So Sera, Soda, Pandyas and Sadavahanas remembered for Western trade contact. So third statement, gold and sweet wines were imported items of export from India. இதுதான் twist. இந்தியாவில இருந்து ஸ்வீட் வைனையும் கோல்டையுமா இம்போர்ட் பண்ணாங்க. நம்ம ஆளுங்க இதுதான் எவ்வளவோ காசு கொடுத்து வாங்கினாங்க இல்லையா? So gold and sweet wines were imported to India. Imported to India. It was not export from India. It is imported. Okay, so gold and sweet wines. Okay, fine. So answer is what? 3 won't come. So the answer is 1 and 2. Sure. 47. You see, Jain temple at Mount Abu. Mount Abu was in Rajasthan. The Jain temple at Mount Abu was made up of marble. This is true. Rajeshwara temple, it houses 3 shrines, 2 to Shiva and middle to Vishnu. இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு ஐயோ நம்ம தான் அந்த கோவிலை பார்க்கல போல அப்படிலாம் நினைச்சிட்டு என்ன பண்ணிடக்கூடாது, ஆமான்லாம் போட்டக்கூடாது. This particular future was not with respect to Rajarajeshwara temple of Tanjavur. It was the seashore temple at Mamalapuram. Mahabalipuram போனீங்கன்னா there was a seashore temple. In the seashore temple, east side and also west side. In the east side there will be a Shiva, a linga was present. West side, if you come like this in the temple, okay, இப்போ ஒரு கோவில் எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா this is seashore. Okay, the temple is here. Okay, the temple is here. Here will be a deity, the linga will be present. East side. This is east side. Okay, east. Here the linga will be present. In center, Vishnu was in the Ananta Sayana. Ananta Sayana means sleeping position. Ananta means snake. Okay, Ananta Sayana means Vishnu was in. You would have seen in Srirangam, right? Vishnu will be in the sleeping posture. So in the center, Vishnu shrine was there, and also in the west, this side, okay, Shiva will be along with his family. Okay, so this particular thing was not there in Rajarajeshwara temple. Tanjavurla kadiyadu. It was in Seashore temple. And Sun temple of Modera, they have clearly given Sun temple of Modera. Modera was in Gujarat, not in Kerala, not in Odisha. Sun temple of Konark was in Odisha. Sun temple of Modera. It has the grandest temple tank in India. This was there in your NCRT. 108 shrines will be there actually. Miniature shrines will be there. By that time period, it was the largest kunt. அப்படின்ற வார்த்தை என்ன குறிக்குது அப்படின்னா, that is called kunt. குளம் அப்படின்றதான் குண்ட்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. சூரிய குண்ட். It's a kind of a tank. Okay, that tank or that particular Surya kunt, by the time period, it has hoisted 108 miniature shrines. அந்த குளத்தை சுத்தி நிறைய shrines இருந்ததாமா. So this statement was correct. This statement was correct. So how many pairs are correct? You should not go for ayyo correct pair enga therliye appadina. Okay, so 2 pairs were all correct. Only 2 pairs. Got it? This is the elimination. Please apply your mind. So Rajarajeshwara temple, you won't see this and all. Okay, sure. Yeah. Rajarajeshwara temple ma, usually it is a perfect, this is called the temple was called Dakshina Meru. Usually in Dravidian temple architecture, it is of 3 phases. First phase is Pallava. Second phase is Chola. And third phase is Vijayanagaram. Vijayanagar was the third phase. These are all the 3 important phases of temple architecture. Especially the Rajarajeshwara temple belongs to Chola temple architecture. In Chola temple architecture, you take it, excuse me. Excuse me. Yes. In Chola temple architecture, listen, there will be a deity will be present. Above the deity, where you will have a structure, the structure we call it as Vimana. In North India, we call it as Shikara, but in South, we call it as Vimana. Above the Vimana only, there will be a Shikar. Okay, and above the shikar only where you will be having a kalasa. This is a future of Chola's architecture. Whereas, if you see Tiruvannamalai, Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple, this a Kanchipuram temple, where the temple Gopuram will be in a very taller. The entrance, the temple tower will be so taller. Gopuram means temple tower. Vimana is not temple tower. Vimana is a structure that will be present above the Garbhagraham. So whenever you look to a Chola temple, you will be noticing the Vimana will be taller than the Gopuram. So that is the future of Rajeshwaram temple. You take any, first it was the Rajaraja Chola who started this practice of making Vimana tallest than the Gopuram. That is the reason if you go into Tanjore Brihadishwara temple, where you will be seeing a small structure, small Gopuram called Keralantaka Gopura. Okay, after the short structure only, you will be seeing the Vimana. Whereas if you go to Chidambaram, Madurai, Rameshwaram, okay, where you will be seeing initially a tall Vimana, that is a tall Gopuram or tower. So that is the difference. Okay, fine. So answer is two pairs only correct. With reference to the Sadavahana dynasty, consider the following statement. They were the first to start practice of land grants with administrative rights. Yes, the Sadavahanas used to give land grants to Brahmins. Okay, fine. Have you heard the word called Agrahara? Agraharam is the land or the villages that was specifically donated to Brahmins. So Agraharam, that kind of system was emerged during the period of Satavahanas. And understand, it was the Harshavardhan who gave land grants to the officers. Okay, but the Sadavahanas, they gave land grants to the Brahmins. Okay, fine. The Sadavahana ruling family was patriarchal. Yes, even though some of the Sadavahana rulers, they have the name of the mother. You take Gautami Putra Shatakarni. Yes, Vashishti Putra Pulayami. அம்மா பேர் வச்சதாலே அவங்க மேட்ரியார்கல் கிடையாது. அடப்பாவிங்களா? Yes, they were all Brahmins. It's a Brahmanical dynasty. They were all patriarchal, but certain rulers, they had the name of their mothers. They kept their mother's name in front. Okay, so like Gautama Buddha. Gautama was not his own name. Siddhartha was his own name. Later he has become Buddha. Gautami was his mother's name and he has taken as Gautama Buddha. Got it? Likewise, the Sadavahanas were all Brahmins, they were all patriarchal, but some of the rulers, they kept their name in front, that is mother's name they used to keep in front actually. So second statement is also correct. Buddhism lost its royal patterns. How come here? How come? Because it was the Sadavahanas who gave patronization for Amaravati Stupa of Amaravati school of Buddhist architecture. There are three important Buddhist schools: Gandhara, Mathura, Amaravati. Where is Amaravati? Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh was ruled by Sadavahanas. Sadavahanas were Brahmins. They supported Brahmanism. It doesn't mean that, okay, Buddhism lost their royal patterns. Buddhism also got supported by Sadavahanas. So that is the conclusion. So third statement, it won't come. So answer is C. Okay, fine. Next. During the Gupta period, there was a decline of foreign trade. Yes. What could be the possible reasons? Heavy taxation put by the Gupta rulers. Export of silk to the Roman Empire fell as the Roman learned the art of growing silk. This is the right answer. Answer is B. Answer is B. Okay, fine. Next is, with reference to the various work compiled in the Sangam literature. Very good. This is a very tricky question. What is the answer? They have asked, select the correct pair. Okay, Tolkappiyam, first citizen-based epic work. Tolkappiyam was a grammar. Okay, so Tolkappiyam, this place, Silapadiharam should have to come. Ettu Togai, whether it speaks about ashramas of life, no, Ettu Togai, they speaks about love affairs and also war affairs. Agam, Puram. Okay, and Padinan male Kanakku. Appa, namakku therinjadhu vanduchirana adichirupaan. Padinan keel Kanakku. Padinan Keelkanakku is nothing but the books of the second order. Padinan Melkanakku are the books of the first order. Here you see Padinan Melkanakku. Male means first, the books that were all compiled in the first. Keelkanakku means the books that were all compiled in the next, second order. So Tirukural came in the Sangam period, but not in the first stage. It was in the later stage. That is the conclusion. Apo, what is the answer? None of the above. Ashramas of life na there is Brahmacharyam, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. எட்டு தொகை என்றால் சன்னியாசாவை பற்றிலாம் பேசல. ஓகே ஓகேவா? இப்போ இருக்கிற சன்னியாசலாம் வந்து பார்க்கும்பொழுது கைலாஷ்ல இருக்கிறாங்க. ஓகே, பைக் ரைட்லாம் பண்றாங்க. அதை பத்திலாம் பேசல அவங்க. ஓகே, சரி. Which of the following statements characterizes the religion of the people of Harappan civilization? This is also a tricky question. Listen. In understand, whenever religion of Harappa came into picture, remember the concept of God is there. Harappa, the concept of God is there. God man also there, but temple is not there. Harappa, God is there, God man, priest is there, but temple is not there. Okay, but this was not the scenario in Egyptian or Mesopotamian civilization. There, God is there, God man is there, temples, monuments also there. Okay, temple worship was the absent. Here they have given absent in almost all the Harappan towns. Correct, absent. Temple worship. Idol worship was strictly prohibited and was not practiced. How come? Mother goddess is there. So many terracottas were all there. Mother goddess worship was there. Indus Valley people, they worshipped mother goddess. They worshipped Palus. Uru vazhipadu irunduchu. Okay, they worshipped spirit, they worshipped Paul, they worshipped ancestors, they worshipped Palus. Adallam undu, natural worship pannanga. But okay, so strictly prohibited la kadiyad. Mother goddess worship is there. Harappans believed in ghost and evil forces. Yes, that is the reason even they went to for sacrifices also in certain extent, and they worshipped both trees and animals. Whether this is correct or not, because out of the embryo of a mother, a temple has come. Sorry, temple under. Sorry. Okay, out of the embryo of a mother, a tree has come. That tree was worshipped as a temple, which means koila nanachi vadipattanga, saamiya nanachi vadipattanga. Okay, so that is the conclusion. So what is the answer here? Which should not come? Yeah, C is the right answer. With respect to the Naudo Toli, namakku theriyada. What is Naudo Toli? It is an important site in Chalcolithic culture. Yes. It is located in the present day of Western Madhya Pradesh, no, Narmada, Maharashtra. Okay, and belong to Ahar culture. So second statement is wrong. So answer is A. Okay, first statement is correct. Second statement is wrong. Okay, fine. Next question. With reference to the Nalanda University, India's first university who conducted NEET exam. Okay, fine. Which means India's first university who conducted entrance examination. It was India's first residential university. Which one? This Nalanda. So founded during the period of Kumaragupta. So it was founded during the period of, that is in the 5th century Common Era. It was so famous. Fahian, the famous Chinese pilgrim, studied at Nalanda. Avarlam vandu padikala. No. இல்ல, நலந்தா யூனிவர்சிட்டி டைம் பீரியட் வந்து எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா இவரெல்லாம் வரும்போது நலந்தா யூனிவர்சிட்டியே கிடையாது. He came during the period of Chandragupta II. Kumaragupta period, 4th century he came. Kumaragupta period is next. Okay, so first statement is wrong. So first wrong nale, answer 2 and 3 தான். It was the home for the famous scholars like Chanakya. Oh, not correct. Very good. Not correct. Very good. Not correct. So first statement is wrong. It was the home to famous scholars like Chanakya and Jivaka. Ivangala Nalandala padikala, Takshila University la padichanga. Chanakya studied there and he has become the misprinting law. Okay, so Takshashila University was the oldest university in India. Not Nalanda. Nalanda came in the Gupta period. Takshashila was present or existed even during the Mauryan period. Chanakya studied there and Chanakya was a professor at Takshashila University. Okay, fine. The university was destroyed by the Huns in the 10th century. Okay, this is wrong. This is wrong statement. This Nalanda University was destroyed in 12th century by a person called Bakhtiyar Khalji. Bakhtiyar Khalji. He was a Turk. Okay, Bakhtiyar Khalji. So, ellame thappu thane. So, answer is D. So, they have asked a not correct statement. In the context of the script of the Harappan civilization, which of the following is correct? The script is pictographic, yes. The Harappan scripts are generally shorter than the Mesopotamian script, yes. The script is generally written from left to right, wrong. Right to left, then left to right. This type of writing, right to left to right, it was called, please stop your discussion. You நான்தாயா பண்றேன், கொஞ்சம் wait பண்ணுங்க. So this type of writing script from right to left to right, it was called Boustropedon. Understand, I want to clarify, Boustropedon is not the name of the script. When someone asks you this, Indus Valley script is Boustropedon, no, kadayad. Boustropedon is the style of writing the script. Okay, so Boustropedon. So what is answer here? So 1 and 2. So answer is A. 55. The stone boulders known as megaliths. Mega means big. Okay, lith means stone. So this is a kind of a megalithic burials, means big stone burials. This megalithic burials are famous in South India. To understand the history of South India, we are going for megaliths. It was not famous in North India. Okay, megaliths are famous in South India. Okay, come on. What is megaliths? Okay, during the Iron Age of India, for which of the following? So coming to the point, what is the answer? It was making of burial sites. Okay, fine. In the context of ancient cultural history of India, the term Shataka. What is the word Shataka? It is a Shataka means a special type of cloth manufactured at Mathura. Mathura was in not Madurai, Mathura, Uttar Pradesh. Okay, Madurai lenga Shatakandra Varthina Kelipatadilli Abdina Cholakuda. Madurai is different, Mathura is different. Mathura is the place where Lord Krishna born. Okay, fine. So the 57th question. With reference to the republics during the Mahajanapata period, consider the following statements. The republics were ruled by Kshatriyas. The republics were ruled by Kshatriyas. Wait panna. Various clan heads maintained their own armies, administrative system, and claimed their own revenues in the republics. அப்ப இது ஏன் Kshatriyas ரூல் பண்ணலாம், வேற யார் ரூல் பண்ணா? புரியுதா? Understand, my dears, the 16 Mahajanapatas, which means India 16 Mahajanapatas, which means 16 nation states were all there. This 16 nation state, some of the states were all monarchs. Monarchy, they followed monarchy, which means some rulers were all ruled by some of the rulers. Likewise, some of the kingdoms were all ruled by, okay, that is, they were all called, okay, republics. This we call it as oligarchy. Oligarchy means some here a group will be there, a powerful clans will be dominating. Understand, both the powerful clans and the individual ruler belong to Kshatriya Vamsam. Because by the 600 BCE, during the Mahajanapatas time period, the concept of Varna system was strongly followed. Logic purida? You take for example, you take Nepal. The kingdom was called Lichavis kingdom. Lichavis, the kingdom name was called Lichavis. It is a republican kingdom. Okay. By the time period, you may ask me, sir, whether the Lichavis kingdom was ruled by Brahmana? No. Ruled by Shudra? Vaipe kadiyadu. Ruled by Vaishyas? No, it was ruled by Kshatriyas. So either you take oligarchy or either you take monarchy. The Kshatriyan clans dominated. That is the understanding. You take Gautama Buddhapa. His name was Siddhartha. Gautama Buddha's father Shuddhodana was the ruler. Okay, understand. Gautama Buddha, whether what prince he is, whether he was a Hindu prince, Kshatriyan prince, yes or no? Shakya Muni, Shakya Vamsa, what is it? Kshatriya. That is the understanding. Okay, so the republics were ruled by Kshatriyas. Don't confuse with today's republic. அதுக்காக தான் இந்த கொஸ்டினை கொடுத்தேன். புரியுதா? யூ டேக் இன் பிரசன்ட் டே த ரிபப்ளிக்ஸ் ஆர் ரூல்டு பை ஷத்ரியாஸ்னா வேற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஓகே, அது ஒரு பெரிய கலவரம் வந்துடும். ஓகேவா? ஸோ அதனால இதை அப்படியே விட்டுருவோம். ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கரெக்ட் அண்ட் செகண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இஸ் கரெக்ட். ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் சி. Which of the following items were introduced in India by Shakas and Kushanas? ரெண்டு பேரும். Kushanas and Shakas, they didn't belong to India. They were not the son of the soil. Okay, the Shakas and Kushanas, they belong to Central Asia and northern China. So when the Kushana, when they came into India, they introduced uniforms, heavy long coat. Okay, leather coats were all introduced, shoes were all introduced, trousers were all introduced, but gunpowder was not introduced. Gunpowder was introduced, or gunpowder was there in India during the medieval time period. Even the Vijayanagaram, they used, understand, before Babur itself, gunpowder was known to Vijayanagar kingdom. But Babur, in the first battle of Panipat, he used gunpowder. This is previously 2015 prelims question. Gunpowder nale Babur da introduce panarpa appilla neenga nenichira kodadu. Babur first battle of Panipat la gunpowder use pannar. But gunpowder was known to India before Babur. The Vijayanagaram time period itself, gunpowder was known to India. Tell me, world level, civilization level, who first introduced gunpowder? Chinese? Persians? எனக்கு தெரியாது. homework. Homework. நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். Okay, fine. Next classல நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. So come on, helmet introduced. Turbans. So what is the third statement? If you eliminate, the answer will come. Okay, third statement. Okay, third statement 1 2 1 2, yeah, D actually. The answer is D. Yeah, answer is D. So 58 answer is D. Okay, which of the following is important feature of the new kingdom formed during the 3rd to 7th century AD? They have asked us AD, which means common era. The 3rd to 7th century, 3rd to 7th century in South India, there were numerous instances of the performance of Vedic sacrifices by the kings. During 3rd to 7th century, by the time period, okay, 7th century, nalla purinjikonga, 7th century and all, India was dominated by Pallavas. Okay, va? Sure. Tell me, there was numerous instances means many times, the performance of Vedic sacrifices by the kings. I am saying like this, whether Ashwamedha Yaga was performed by any Pandyan ruler? Why not? Performed in the earlier, understand the first question, in the early Sangam age, there was no Aryanization. In the later period, Sangam age also Aryanized, sanctified. How? Who was the god of Marudam? Indranasakam, Varuna worship, Indra worship were all came. There was a question I asked also. Sati was prevalent in South India, Sangam period, but not they say it as Sati. It was called Teepayadal. Adapavigla pocha. Okay, so fine. So coming to the next point. So this question was correct. Aryanization and Brahmanization of society happened. Many new areas in South India were brought under cultivation and settlement. So this is correct. So answer is okay. Yeah. Wait a second. I will confirm. The 59th question, I will, guys, the 59th question answer is A. The 59th question answer is A. Here, many new areas, listen, many new areas in South India. I will give a clarification. Many new areas in South India were brought under cultivation and settlement before the 3rd to 7th century. So Sangam age itself, agriculture was here completely on the, it was okay. But after Sangam age only they have given. So many new areas in South India were brought under cultivation and settlement was not the correct statement. So answer is A, 1 and 2 only. Okay. So what they are coming to say, during the Sangam period itself, the agriculture, the Tamil society has developed. So the agriculture was well developed. So that is the conclusion. Okay, fine. Next, which of the following items were imported by the people of the Indus Valley civilization? Imported, they have asked actually. Okay, Indus Valley people, what they imported? Whether they imported cotton textile, they exported. Tin, imported. Ivory, no, ivory and all. Indus Valley famous for domestication of elephants. Ivories were all exported. So this is not. Woolen textiles, whether they imported, definitely they would have. Okay, lapis lazuli. Okay, yes. So what they imported, they have given the correct answer. So answer is 2, 4, 5. So 2, 4, 5, where is there? B. Lapis lazuli is a semi-precious stone. Semi-precious stone. It is used for making jewelry. Lapis lazuli. Time at okay. Yes. Understand. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to the 5th and 6th century Common Era? AD means Common Era. The land grants to Brahmanas promoted the spreading of new methods of cultivation and rural expansion in South India. Yes. The peasants in South India learned from the Brahmanas a new calendar that helped agriculture. The question says that land grants was given to Brahmins. So the Brahmins, they invested in lands. When they invested in lands, what is the understanding? The Brahmins now established many standards in agriculture. So when the Brahmins established many standards in agriculture and agricultural productivity was developed. So this in turn was the reason for the flourishing nature or flourishing agriculture in South India. So that is the conclusion. So Brahmins, they studied, they applied their knowledge in agriculture. So whether society progressed or not, progress, that is the conclusion. Okay, so answer is both 1 and 2. Consider the following statement with reference to India's cultural contact with the Asian countries. Theravada Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka from India. Yes. Chinese learned the art of Buddhist paintings from India. Yes. Tibetan grammar is modeled on Sanskrit grammar of Panini. Yes. Okay. The philosophy of Dhyan Yoga came to India. Okay. The philosophy of Dhyan Yoga, okay, India, it has went from India to Korea. Okay, and later Japan. So this is the correct statement. From India to Korea, Japan, not from Japan to India. So this statement is odd. So 4th statement won't come. The answer is C. Okay, Dhyanam, Yoga. Who was the father of Yoga? Patanjali was the father of Yoga. Okay. With reference to the future of Ashokan inscription, consider the following statements. Major edicts of Ashoka are the oldest among the rock edicts. Minor rock edicts of Ashoka. The first statement is wrong. Minor rock edicts. Understand, when we speak about Ashoka, we speak about major rock edicts, minor rock edicts. Ashoka's minor rock edicts always speaks about Ashoka's personal things. Ashoka's major rock edict speaks about his administration. For example, Ashoka's original name was not Ashoka, his name was called Devanampiya or Devanampiyadasi. This information was there in a place called Maski, Karnataka. So tell me whether it is a major rock edicts or minor rock edicts? Minor rock edicts. So minor rock edicts are older than the major rock edicts. This is the conclusion. They are composed mainly in Pali language. How come here? Prakrit language. Okay, Prakrit language and Brahmi script. So second statement is also wrong. Ashoka's advice to his subjects on Dhamma and the way of living, okay, constitutes the subject matter of these inscriptions. So this is correct. So answer is C. The first two statements were all wrong. Next, which of the following statements are correct regarding the artifacts of the people of Harappan civilization? In a terracotta figurine, a plant is shown growing out of the embryo of a woman. This is correct. They practiced pot burial in which the burned stones were all deposited. Indus Valley people அவங்க இறந்தவங்களை புதைச்சாங்க and எரிச்சாங்க. Okay, so they burnt and they dumped that okay ashes in the pot burial. This is true. They buried their dead along with some grain and pottery. This is also true. They had symbolized their artifacts with the swastik sign. Many people here confuse. Swastik sign was used by IVC people, not by Aryans. The symbol swastik represents sun. Okay, இதை அப்படியே அல்டா உல்டா பண்ணி அடால்ஃப் ஹிட்லர் மாத்திட்டு இருப்பாரு. Okay, so the swastik sign symbolizes sun. The people of Indus Valley, whether they worshipped sun, they worshipped nature, they worshipped the sun. The swastik is the symbol representation of the sun. So swastik என்னும் பொழுது ஆரியன் symbol நினைக்காதீங்க. Okay, so the people of IVC had the symbol of swastik. So answer is what? D. 65. With reference to the Chandragupta II of the Guptan dynasty, consider the following statement. He extended his empire to the western India by defeating and conquering Shakas. Yes. He is credited with the starting of the new era called Vikrama Samvat. Wrong. Okay, Vikrama era came in the later time period. Okay, yeah, it was this time period, Chandragupta II's time period. He didn't start any new era. Second statement is wrong. Mehrauli Iron Pillar inscription mentions Chandragupta's victory over his enemies from Vanga or Bengal. This is correct. So answer is 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 means A. Okay, second statement is not correct. There are two eras, Vikrama Samvat, also called as Vikrama era. The Vikrama era came during the period of Shakas. Vikrama eraன்றது ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாதுங்க. விக்ரம் அப்படின்னா வெற்றியை குறிக்கும், பிரேவ்னஸை குறிக்கும். ஏன் விக்ரம்ன்ற வார்த்தை இந்தியாவில் ஃபேமஸ் அப்படின்னா விக்ரமாதித்யான்ற வார்த்தையில இருந்தா விக்ரம் வருது. During Shaka period, a Indian ruler killed a Shaka ruler. That Indian ruler name was Vikramaditya. So anyone who perform a heroic activity, okay, those rulers or anyone who shows their braveness, those rulers will be called as Vikramaditya. You believe or not, in India, there are almost 17 popular major rulers who got the name as Vikramaditya. So எவன் ஹீரோ பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பண்ணாலும் ஆர் யாரு பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பண்ணாலே என்ன சொல்லிடுவாங்க, விக்ரமாதித்யான்னு டைட்டில் கொடுத்துருவாங்க. So that is the reason the very first Vikramaditya, okay, is none other than the Indian who killed a Shaka ruler. Okay, that is called, you know, Vikrama Samvat. Okay, it comes around 57 BCE. Okay, next one is Shaka era. Okay, the Shaka era was the official Indian calendar. Okay, so Shaka era comes during the period of Kanishka. Okay, so this second statement won't come. Got it? 66. In the context of Sangam age, now only I said, Deepayadal means cruel form of Sati. In Tamil, the word Deepayadal, Sangam age, the word Deepayadal means Sati. Consider the following statement regarding the religious practices in Gupta period. Gupta kings were the great patrons of Buddhist art. Yes. Idol worship in the temples became a common feature of Hinduism. Yes. Bhagavatism, which is a mixture of bhakti and ahimsa, overshadowed Buddhism by the Gupta period. Whether this is correct or not? No. Why? True. Yes. Answer is 1, 2, and 3. Consider the following pairs. Shudraka, this is already asked in prelims. Shudraka, a Guptan author, okay, wrote a book called Mrichak Kadigam, which means a little clay couch. The meaning is the little clay couch. It was a love story of a particular person. Mrichak Kadigam, a little clay couch was the English meaning. Bilhana, he belonged to 12th century common era. His book was called, okay, Vikramaka Deva Charitra, 12th century common era. Bilhana, it speaks about Chalukya ruler. It speaks about the Chalukyan ruler Vikramaditya 6. Vikramaditya 6. Okay, fine. That is Bilhana. Kalidasa wrote Vikramor Vashyam. So everything is correct. So what is the conclusion? 1, 2, 3. How many pairs? All 3 pairs were all correct. 69. The word Pattinapalai mentioned in the Sangam literature refers to which among the following? When here Pattinapalai, here also a confusing area actually. Pattinam Palai. What do you think? Okay, Pattinam Patini அப்படி எதனா யோசிச்சிருப்பீங்க. Okay, கிடையாது. Okay, So this Patini cult introduced by Charan Sengutuvan was wrong. Dry land located nearby the ocean, wrong. Coastal town, you may think like that. கடலுக்கு பக்கத்துல இருக்கிறதால பட்டினம் or அப்படின்னு நினைச்சிருப்பீங்க, wrong. A literature referring to the military conquest of King Karikala Cholan. Answer is D. Pattinapalai only speaks about the military conquest or the, yeah, so Karikala Cholan. 70. Which, with reference to the social structure during the Gupta period, consider the following statements. The economic position of the Shudras, no, declined. It is wrong. The economic position of the Shudras improved. Shudras' economic position improved because many Shudras were all agriculturists. So the agriculture improved. That is the understanding. First statement wrong. You have asked a correct statement, right? So first statement is wrong, go for elimination. You see, the large number of subcastes were created due to the assimilation of foreigners in the Indian society. This is correct. This is correct. The members of the higher Varnas became polygamous and more property minded because polygamous is more. Polygamy is emerging and the women, now it has become, okay, private property. So answer is 2 and 3. Okay, the third statement says that polygamy is emerged and more property minded means even the women's were considered to be the private property. Okay, by this time period only the Sridanas will be provided to the women's, but due to the patriarchal mindset, the land, that is the father's property, cannot be inherited by the daughter. Okay, during Gupta period or even after, even modern time period, okay, the women's only was given to Sridana. Sridanam is nothing but Sidanam, that is a gift during the marriage, but the property rights and all not there. Okay, this shows that the patriarchal mindset of the Guptans. Okay, that is the reason many historians says Guptan period was not a golden age. Okay, because the condition of the women's were all so miserable. 71. With reference to the Gupta period, consider the following statements. It witnessed the expansion of cultivable lands. Yes, because as I said, agricultural extension was there. Okay, and Uparikara and Udranga were the agricultural taxes. This is also true. These are all the facts. Uparikara and also Udranga. Okay, fine. With reference to the Allahabad pillar inscription of ancient India, consider the following statements. It was composed by Ravi Kirti. Wrong. Harisena. Okay, the Allahabad pillar inscription of Samudragupta speaks about Harisena. Okay, fine. It indicates the non-monarchical groups like the Yaudeyas and Madrakas paid homage and tribute to the Guptas. Yes, it mentions Samudragupta as the god living on the earth. Okay, correct. So answer is B. Okay, fine. 73rd. Here comes another interesting question. Which of the following literature was written during the Gupta period? What will come? How will, what you can eliminate actually? Ashtatyayi you can eliminate. Ratnavali you can eliminate because you see Ratnavali was written by Harsha. Remember, like the word PNR. Remember PNR. PNR ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. Harsha wrote, okay, Priyadarshika. Okay, Harsha wrote Priyadarshika, Nagananda, and also Ratnavali. These are all the one written by Harsha. So you see, okay, there Ratnavali is there. It was written by Harsha, so not Gupta period. So go for elimination method. So A and also D won't come. Then okay, Ashtatyayi was written by Panini. Panini was the father of Sanskrit grammar. Okay, and Amarakosham is okay, and Mudra Rakshasa okay. Then even Hayagriva Veda also okay. So 3, 4, 5 is correct answer. C. Okay, so Hayagriva Veda also okay, written during the time period of Guptas. Okay, fine. With reference to the Stone Age, consider the following statements. The people of early Stone Age, listen, early Stone Age means Paleolithic. Now you answer. The people of early Stone Age means the people of Paleolithic learned to domesticate animals and cultivate plants. Okay, even if they have mentioned Middle Stone Age, that is a conclusion. The early Stone Age is called Paleolithic. Paleolithic peoples were all hunters and food gatherers. How can cultivate plants? So first statement, it won't come. Adamgar in Madhya Pradesh. Adamgar was in Madhya Pradesh. Provides the earliest evidences for the domestication of animals. It was the important Mesolithic sites. Second statement is correct. Neolithic men knew how to make boats and spin cotton. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So answer is 2 and 3. B. With reference to the religion and belief system that prevailed in the early Vedic period. Listen, early Vedic period. Consider the following statement. Prayer to gods were made with the main concern of material gains. What they are saying, sir, in the early Vedic period, there are so many prayers for Indra, Varuna, Agni, Surya. Whether they prayed to this god to reach moksha, moksha அடையிறதுக்காக ப்ரே பண்ணாங்களான்னு கேக்குறாங்க. கிடையாது. Materialistic needs. What is materialistic gains? Sir, give me resources, give me much power. Okay, so give me, so much of power, arms, ammunitions. So for this only, the yoga, that is, the rituals were all there actually. So prayers to the gods, this is correct. Gods in Rigvedic society were worshipped in idol form. This is a very important question previously asked in prelims. Gods in the Rigvedic society, Indran, Agni, Surya and all, not worshipped in an idol form. The religion of Vedic people is, we call it as Brahmanism. Brahmanism is more ritualistic than spiritualistic. What is ritualistic? They perform yaha, yajnas. Only through performing yahas and yajnas, only by chanting the prayers, they worshipped their gods. Sir, அப்போ கோவில்ல வந்து இந்திரனுக்கு சிலைலாம் இருக்கா சார்? Today, Hinduism was transformed in various ways. But during the Rigvedic society, the question is Rigvedic society. That is the reason where you can decipher this. There was a fellow called Mool Shankar, or he was called Dayananda Swami, Dayananda Saraswati. Dayananda Saraswati says, go back to Vedas. That is, this fellow says, go back to Vedas. You have to do you have to read Vedas for intellectualism, because Vedas speaks about Vedantam, or Vedantam speaks about the concept of Vedantam and Siddhantams are nothing but doctrines in India. But the same Dayananda Saraswati says, in Vedas there is no idols were all there, so you don't need to perform idol worship. So that is the conclusion. So the second statement is wrong. Marut was the god of storm. Please remember, his name was Marut, not Maruti. Spelling mistake னு சொல்லிட்டு நீங்களே நினைச்சிட கூடாது. Spelling mistakeலாம் கிடையாது. Marut means another name of Vayu. Vayu Putran is Hanuman. So Marut son is Maruti. Logic? So Marut was the god of storms. Okay, so this is the understanding. So don't think as Maruti and make mistake. So what is the, Marut was the god of storm, correct? So 1 and C. And the next one is, with reference to the ancient history of India, consider the following statement. Menander was one of the most famous Indo-Greek ruler. First statement wrong. Milandapana, written by Nagasena, is an ancient text which talks about Menander. Yes. Menander was later converted to Buddhism. Yes. So 2 and 3 only. These are all simple facts, sir. Simple facts. Next, with reference to the Harappan civilization, Harappa located on the bank of river Purushni. Correct. Sir, Ravi only know. Yes. Okay. Ravi's Sanskrit name was Purushni. You need to study Aryans also. Okay. Ravi's Sanskrit name was called Purushni. Okay, first statement is correct. Harappan people were primarily nomadic and pastoral people. No, agriculturist. The extension of the Harappan civilization may be associated with the climate change. This is okay. Yes, correct. So answer is what? 1 and 3C. Which of the following are the features of the divine kingship? Rajava kadavul mari paakradha divine kingship. Increased distance with the kinsman. Increased distance with the kinsman. Kinsman means what? If a ruler is considered to be divine, you would have watched the movie Ayirathil Oruvan, a recent Chola movie by Silvaragavan some 10 years before. There a Chola ruler will be coming. Okay, நீங்க பார்த்திருப்பீங்க. இன்னும் அவருடைய குழந்தை கூட மடியில இருந்து அம்மா மடியில இருந்து இறங்கிடுவாங்க. What is the conclusion? If a ruler is considered to be divine, which means a ruler in those days considered to be divine, if he is considered to be divine, okay, even the closest kith and kins are nothing but அவங்களுடைய blood bonds, ரத்த உறவுகள். அவங்க கூட என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா கிங் கூட ரொம்ப க்ளோஸ் எல்லாம் வச்சுக்க மாட்டாங்க, because he is considered to be a god. Likewise, in the divine kings, later Vedic period, the polity is like divine kings. The Raja is considered to be so sacred. Okay, fine. Increased importance of political assemblies, like wrong. Increased importance was there in early Vedic period, not in later Vedic period. Here, Sabha Samitis were all there, but the concept of hereditary was there. In early Vedic period, election is there, indirect election is there. Okay, in the indirect election, the rulers was elected by means of election, but that elected assemblies were called Sabha, Samiti, Vidata. But in later Vedic period, Sabha, Samiti and all there, but it was not that much. So elaborate sacrificial rituals performed only by the Rajan, because the Ashwamedayaha, Rajasuyayaha, Vajapayayaha, these are all the rituals confined only to the rulers. Okay, so answer is C. Next, they are asking espionage system. Espionage means spy system. Espionage na ennu theriyum. Spy system. Sansthanas were the wandering secret agents. Sansthanas were not wandering secret agents. Okay, I will tell you the name. Sansthanas were stationary. They were all stationary secret agents. There are two types of secret agents. One, okay, he will be, for example, he will be he will be sitting, or he will be looking at the people, or paithikara mari appadiye paathitu irupaan. Stationary persons. Another group were called wanderers. Samcharis were called wanderers. Sansthanas and samcharis. Samcharis are also called as secret agents. They were all wanderers. Okay, so the sansthanas were the stationary secret agents. ஒரே இடத்துல இருப்பாங்க, எதனா ஒரு ஷாப் வச்சிருப்பாங்க. ஓகே, என்னங்க சும்மா அவங்க கிட்ட வாய் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா என்னங்க நாட்டு நடப்பெல்லாம் எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்குன்னா நாட்டுல என்ன நடக்குதுன்றத சொல்லிடுவான், அதை கவர்மெண்ட் கிட்ட ரிப்போர்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. So the sansthanas were the stationary secret agents. They will report the day-to-day affairs, what happening in the country. Okay, whereas the samcharis were the wandering secret agents. You take Ponniyin Selvan, Alvarkadiyar. Okay, so he was a samchari. Samchari means a wanderer. Okay, fine. Women were employed by the state as the spies and bodyguards. Yes. The head of the secret service was Samaharta. Yes. Samaharta means revenue. Yes. He was the head of the revenue. At the same time, he was given a special position to take care of the ruler. So Samaharta was head of the revenue, and he was also the head of espionage, like today's home secretary. Okay, so answer is what? So Samaharta is, there is first one is wrong, so answer is 2 and 3. This question you need to understand, the Samaharta, head of the revenue and head of the espionage. So there are certain spy system associated with them. Okay, fine. Next is Mahajanapatas. The common people participated in governance of the republics during the age of Mahajanapatas. Wrong. Common people எந்த காலத்திலையும் கவர்னன்ஸ்லாம் மேக்ஸிமம் பார்ட்டிசிபேட்டே பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. I said, okay, Ganasanghas are nothing but a special ruling clans or community. Even though in Mahajanapatas the republics are all there, the republics are all taken care by Ganasanghas. The work of common people participation in the governance of the countries and all not there. Please don't study e-governance and write this statement as correct. Okay, it is not like today. You see the question. Mahajanapatas time period la kekkranga. Ipo padishta apdiye and டைம் பீரியட் அப்படிதான் இருக்குன்னு நினைக்க கூடாது. Both monarchy as well as oligarchy republican system existed at that time. This is correct. So answer is what they have said correct. So answer is 2 only. Super. Consider the following events during Magadha period. Building of the forted Patna, annexation of Avanti. So these are all the statements associated with the rulers. In Magadha, important ruler like Ajadashatru. Ajadashatru. And after Ajadashatru, here comes Udayan. After Udayan, here comes Nagdasak or Kala Nagdasak. Okay, or called Nagdasak. And finally, there was another, yeah, okay, fine. Conquest of Kalinga, Mahapadma. Okay, here Mahapadma was the one who conquered this Kalinga. Kalinga means Odisha. So in the chronology, the 4 has to come in the last. So A was eliminated. So tell me, from the next options, you tell me what has to come. I have mentioned Ajadashatru, Udayan, Nagdasak, okay, and Mahapadma. So Mahapadma was the ruler, a Magadhan ruler. He belonged to Padma dynasty, Mahapadma, Nanda dynasty. So is time period where the conquest of Kalinga was made. You correlate with this and answer actually. D. So first you are saying annexation of Avanti into Magadha. No, D won't come. எடுத்த உடனே பாட்னாக்கு போயிட்டாங்களா? First remember, what was the first capital of Magadha dynasty? இதான லாஜிக். இது ஒன்னு தெரிஞ்சா போதுமே. எப்படி சொல்றீங்க பாருங்க. ஃபோர்டிஃபிகேஷன் ஆஃப் ராஜ்கிர். பிகாஸ் மற்ற ஆப்ஷன்லாம் ராஜ்கிர் வரல. அப்ப கண்டிப்பா 3 வந்திருக்கணும். அப்ப 3 வந்தாலே எலிமினேட் இதை பண்ணிடலாம். ரெண்டு ஆப்ஷன் எலிமினேட் பண்ணாலே ஆன்சர் வருதே. பிகாஸ் த டைம் பீரியட் ஆஃப் அஜாதசத்ரு, okay, he fortified Rajgir. Rajgir was called Jaladurga அப்படின்னு பேர். Okay, Jaladurga. Why Rajgir was called Jaladurga? Because that particular city surrounded by hills, and that particular hills was surrounded by 4 important rivers. Another question is there actually. Correct? So you correlate with this. And the next is where abdina, okay, building of fort at Patna. This correlates with whom abdina? Udayan. So you go for answer 3124. Third only this Nagadasak, okay, or Shishunaha, Nagadasak or Shishunaha. So annexation of Avanti to Magadha. Avanti is nothing but Avanti kingdom is in Ujjain. And the Halathila, there was an enmity between Magadha and Ujjain. 100 years of enmity was finally settled during the period of this Nagadasak or Shishunaha dynasty. Okay, so answer is 3124. So pre-Mauryan time period is this. Okay, so answer is 3124. Bogavo. Which of the following in this river site is located on the bank of river Bogavo? Answer is Lothal. Okay, fine. Next. Who among the following rulers issued a gold coin for the first time in the Indian subcontinent? Indo-Greeks. These are all state fact. The Aryan chief was soft towards both Dasas and Dasyus. எப்படி இருப்பார் பாருங்க சாஃப்டா. கிடையாது. The Aryan chiefs followed enmity. In Rigveda, there was a word called Dasyuthya. Dasyuthya means slaying or killing of Dasas. Okay, first statement was wrong. The Dasyus kept cattle for dairy products. No. They were all the one who considered to be the worshippers of Palus. Okay, ba? So Palus worship involved ஆயிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. So Dasyus, do you know what is the Dasa, Dasyus and all? It speaks about some of the clans or some of the original inhabitants of Indus Valley. So they were not dairy products keepers actually. Okay, so both were all. Okay, so answer is D. And assemblies mentioned in the Rigveda exercise deliberative, military and religious functions. Sabha, Samiti. There are 3 assemblies: Sabha, Samiti and Vidatha. So these 3 functions were also important. Women were not allowed to attend Sabha meeting. This is wrong statement. Women were allowed, but women were not Women's were not allowed. Okay. Women's were not allowed to attend Sabha meeting in the Rigvedic times அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க. Actually, women's were allowed to attend Sabha meetings. Women's were not allowed to attend Samiti meetings. That has to come. Yes? Okay, anyhow, I will. Okay, I will answer for this question later. Okay, ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு. So 85, you keep. We will discuss. Next, with the context to the later Vedic age, the term Shama. Okay, Shama means iron. There are two words, Shama, Shamayas, and Lohitayas அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Lohitayas. Lohit means copper. Shamayans means iron. Okay, fine. And next one, which of the following statements are correct with respect to the first millennium BCE? That is BCE they are asking. It what is this period? Which means it is Aryan's period. 1st millennium BCE, which means it is early Vedic period. Weaving was confined to women and practiced on a large scale. Yes. Redware pottery was most popular during the 1st millennium BC. I said yes. 1st millennium means early Vedic period. The later Vedic period only painted greyfare came, and that one came. Okay. So answer is both 1 and 2 are all correct. See. And next question. All 4 ashrama stage of life was mentioned in the later Vedic text. No, only 3. No. Actually, all it was compiled 3 ashramas of life. That is Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. Listen, in the later Vedic text, Brahmacharya stage was not included. Okay, only when it was included in the sense when 600 BC Buddhism came into picture. Buddhism எப்போ வந்துச்சோ or Jainism எப்போ வந்துச்சோ, the concept of Brahmacharyam was emerging in Aryan's period. So only 3 ashramas of life was mentioned. If you redefine and study, this is the conclusion. I have given in the explanation also. Okay, you get explanation and study, I have de-refined. In post-Vedic times, all 4 ashrama stage were performed by all varnas of the society. No. Okay, only that is the grihastha. Okay, grihastha ellame irkalam. Only the grihastha stage will be performed by all varnas of the society. Other stages and all sannyasava or shudra போக முடியாது. Society won't accept. So the second statement was okay. The second statement was not, because why this and all coming means in those days a specific concept called common culture and common practices were all followed. When a person is there in a particular varna, he has to follow that particular thing actually. Okay, so what is the answer? The statement was wrong, and this statement also wrong. So answer is correct. Answer is D. Next one, which of the following were the important changes during later Vedic times? Emergence of Rashtram, that is territorial kingdoms. Society changed from pastoral to agriculture. Tribal transformed into peasants, because tribals were given. The tribals before, they were all tribals. They were all Aryan tribal group. Now they have started to cultivate, so they have become peasants. Peasant means the one who are authority of the land. நம்ம நாட்டில் நிறைய பேருக்கு peasants and farmersக்கு மீனிங் தெரியறது இல்லை. Peasants அப்படின்னா one who have authority of the land. One who are a cultivator was called peasant. Farmer means landless agricultural labor. Okay, here they have given peasants, not as farmers. Okay, so answer is, they have asked the correct code. So answer is 1, 2, and 3. That is D. Next question is, consider the following statement about Jainism. It placed a god lower than Jina. Yes, in Jainism, which god? The Vedic gods. Okay, in Jainism, okay, Jina means their guru. The guru are none other than pathfinders. யார் pathfindersனா யாரு? தீர்த்தங்கராஸ் கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா? Yeah, in Jainism there are 24 Tirthangara, which means the Tirthangaras, they say it as Jina. Jina means conqueror or brave. Jainism says when compared to Guru, the Vedic gods are lower. Okay, it condemned the Varna system. Understand, Jainism didn't condemn the Varna system. That is the people used to say. Jainism criticized animal sacrifice. Jainism stressed for brahmacharya stage. Jainism stressed for non-violence, but Jainism didn't condemn the Varna system. The second statement is wrong. It had more followers from agriculture. வாய்ப்பே கிடையாது. Okay, not correct னு கேட்டிருக்காங்க. Answer என்ன? 2 and 3. Because in Jainism, okay, as Jainism stressed for what is the Jainism is stressing? It's stressed for vegetarianism. It's stressed for non-violence. In India, most of the people follow agriculture. They have to till the land. Some organism would have, it should die actually. So இவங்க விவசாயம் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னா இப்போ நமக்குலாம் எப்படி பூவா கிடைக்கும் கரெக்டா? ஸோ அப்போ அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் கம்யூனிட்டி கிட்ட ஜெயினிசம் பாப்புலர் ஆகல, அதான் மீனிங். ஸோ ஆன்சர் இஸ் 2 and 3. With the context to religious history of India, the term basadis இது ஆல்ரெடி கேட்டிருக்காங்க. ஜெயின் மொனாஸ்டிக் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ்மெண்ட்ஸ் யூபி என்சிஆர்டிஸ்ல இருக்கு. Buddhism doesn't recognize both God and Atma. True. People were taken to Buddhist order without any consideration of castes. This is also true. But the worst form is, what is the worst form? Buddha, he didn't recognize God. But what Indians did? They converted Buddha as God. That's worst form. Okay, fine. Who among the following rulers were claimed to be Ekrath? Ekrath means none other than the one who had a continuous enmity with Kshatriyas. Here, the fellow called Mahapadmananda, he was called Ekrath. Okay, this Mahapadmananda, Nanda dynasty was the first non-Kshatriyan dynasty. First non-Kshatriyan dynasty. So this Mahapadma was the one who engaged war with the Kshatriyans. Okay, so he was called the slayer of Kshatriyas. Slayer of Kshatriya. So that is the reason Mahapadma was called Ekrath. Okay, Ekrath means conqueror, one who was a conqueror of Kshatriyas. That is the meaning. The next one, as Pataliputra claimed to be Jaladurga, which of the following rivers? I said right, Ganga, Gandak, Son and also Gagra. Pataliputraவை சுத்தி இருக்கக்கூடிய ரிவர்ஸ் என்ன அப்படின்றத கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Okay, sure. With context to the ancient history of India, the term Adhyaksha, where it will come? Mauryan's time period. So Shulakdaksha, what is the word Shulakdaksha means? Yeah, it was a toll collecting officers. Okay, fine. 96. During the Sangam period, hereditary monarchy was a form of the government. Yes or no? Why? Local chieftains were different. Local chieftains were all different. This is correct. Okay. Land revenue and custom duty. If you take example, there was a fellow called, you take Karikala Cholan. This Karikala Cholan, okay, his father ruled before, and later Karikala Cholan, he came to the picture. It was not by election. Okay, so this is the conclusion. Land revenue and custom duty were the chief source of income. This is true. So answer is C. Consider the following statement with respect to Pushyamitra Sunga. He was a post-Mauryan ruler. The capital of Pushyamitra Sunga was Pataliputra. It was not Rajgir. He patronized Sanskrit grammarian Patanjali. Okay. Amma, Patanjali was a Sanskrit grammarian. Don't think Patanjali was a Samyar. Okay. He was the one who founded yoga, and Patanjali wrote another work called Mahabhashya. This Mahabhashya was a work on Sanskrit grammar. So what is the conclusion? Patanjali was also a Sanskrit grammarian because he wrote Mahabhashya. Okay, fine. So what is the answer? One is wrong. Another one is correct. So answer is 2 only. And Saint Thomas, the apostle of Jesus Christ, came to the court of which Indian king? Gandu, that is the Gondopers. He was an Indo-Parthian ruler or a Parthian ruler. Okay, fine. And Jinasena, the famous Jain scholar and author of Adi Puranam. This was already asked you NDA exam question. Jinasena wrote Adi Purana, associated with which of the following ruler? This is Amogha Varsha. Amogha Varsha was a Rashtrakuta ruler. He was a Rashtrakuta ruler. Okay, Amogha Varsha. This Amogha Varsha, he ruled for 64 years. Okay, fine. And the next one is Dolavira is a peculiar Indus Valley site, famous for water conservation. Yes or no? Dams, check dams, they're all present. Okay. Dolavira is located on the Kutch Desert Wildlife Sanctuary. Yes. National Maritime Heritage Complex is established at Lothal, not Dolavira. So answer is 1 and 2. So answer is A. Okay. Next class la paapom. I will just message and ஒரு question மட்டும் ஒரு சின்ன doubt இருக்கு. I will just conclude. I will message later.